everyone. Welcome to a bonus episode of Top Guy Theater. As you can see above me, Mike and I are the only two normals here. Everyone else, little hodgepodge group we put on because half our gang is in Jacksonville for AEW High Gear tonight, or Full Gear, or Third Gear, whatever it's called. So tonight we're going to watch Monday Night Raw for May 10th, 1999. Mike Kolb's idea, the highest rated Raw of all time. With me tonight, our regular Mike Kolb is here from my neighbor in Indiana. How you doing, Mike?
Doing great. Just got my negative COVID test back from the doctor's office.
Congratulations.
So, let's hope that stays true. So I'm doing fabulous, man. Let's watch some Raw.
Let's do it. A little cheers to my man up in New England, Anthony Pyers. Welcome to the show. No problem. Glad to have you. The honey-filled voice of Anthony Pyers sounds like a modern-day Casey Kasem.
Frank being in Jacksonville, Rhode Island had to represent. So
that's right.
Dedicated performance to you, Frank.
That is true. I don't know if I would go that far. Up next, our attorney, or our second-string attorney, Matt Levitt would be pissed if I said that. From Oklahoma, Michael Amend.
Hey, guys. How are y'all? Glad to be here.
Are you ready to watch the big show in the Union? That's what I got to ask you.
I am ready for the Union and some 2x4s.
Jason Rife joining us today. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Hey, thanks for having me. Can't wait to do this. This should be a lot of fun.
And also Adam O'Neill from across the pond, his second appearance on the show. How are you, Adam?
How's everyone doing today?
If I was any better, I have to sit on my hands to keep from clapping.
Lovely, lovely.
So,
thanks for having me back.
That's better than him having to sit on his hands for other reasons, because he's like the monkey at the zoo.
We're all familiar with the stranger. So let's get ready to watch a Raw. A little ground rule for you guys that are new on the show. We just try not to talk over each other. You don't have to mute yourselves in between. But if there's something you want to talk about, I do my best to throw it around to everybody. But if there's something you want to talk about, put it in the chat. And when I see it, we'll discuss it. So go to your WWE network, go to Monday Night Raw, May 10th, 1999. Here's the description. The corporate ministry goes to war with the union. Commissioner Shawn Michaels, that never stops sounding weird, makes some unique and controversial matches, including a nightstick on a pole match and an evening gown match. By the way, Vince Russo's not here. Plus, actually, no, he is still here. Yeah, he is still here. But Eric doesn't leave for another 3 months. Mr. McMahon teams with The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. You heard me correctly. To take on The Undertaker, Triple H, and Shane McMahon in the main event. Here we go. Get ready to hit play. I hope you got through commercial already. If not, I would pause the show right now. But get ready to hit play in 3, 2, 1, play. Here we go. The opening match I can see from the windows down below. Kane versus Billy Gunn.
Man, that's going to be a barn burner. Calling it.
You know what's bizarre is Antonio and I did a bonus episode a while ago, just before we did King of the Ring 98. And we did the Go Home Raw from that show. And, Mick Foley had discussed that he didn't think he deserved to have that match with Undertaker because Mankind was kind of lost in the shuffle. Didn't really have a lot going on. The main event of that show, does anybody want to guess what the main event of that show was, of that Raw? To kind of prove Mick Foley's point.
No idea.
Mankind versus Billy Gunn was the main event of that Raw. Yikes. So we got some sort of Royal Rumble shenanigans happening here.
Yeah, I just miss this era and the intros to Raw and getting to they always got you hyped up for the episode you were about to watch just by looking at a quick 30 seconds of what happened last week.
Can we all agree? Let's go around the horn here. Can we all agree this is the worst rendition of The Undertaker?
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt.
Without question.
I disagree.
Okay. Who's yours?
I would say Dead Man Inc. probably around 03.
Stop it. Stop it. What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Fire gone.
Ministry of Darkness.
Jason won't be back.
It really is.
So it's just funny because I think we found out recently that myself, Randy Wagner, who's one of our regulars, Mark Nelson, who's the top guy, and somebody else, we're all at WrestleMania 19 in Seattle.
Oh,
And I have a picture of myself and my cousin David at the show, and in the like we're on TV right in the beginning, like what the camera sweeps through, you can see us. It actually stops right in front of us. And in the picture, there's only two guys wearing red shirts. I might pull it up here in a little bit so you can see it. And it's me and him, and I'm wearing a Big Evil shirt in the picture. So we're going to disagree all day on that one, which is fine. It's fine. I get it because I mean it's technically it's not the Undertaker, it's Mark Calloway or whatever, but I loved the biker Undertaker, loved him.
I mean, in retrospect, it wasn't as bad as I originally thought, but I don't know, it just wasn't for me at the time.
I will tell you, if you forgot, like when Undertaker went out shortly after this, I mean he wasn't around too much longer after this. I think he had a back injury.
Right, early September, I think.
Yeah, and then he comes back at Adam. You're kind of the resident historian here. Was it Vengeance the next year?
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. The
That's
Iron Man
right.
match.
That's why it was named Judgment Day. But he comes back. The pop he gets when he comes out on the bike, holy shit! That audience loses its mind.
I'm getting chills thinking about it. It's a good pop. It's so good.
By the way, the next show we're going to watch WrestleMania 18. And the reason why we're going to watch that show, because we were doing shows that ad-free shows was covering during the week that weren't watch-along. So unfortunately, Tony's were usually out. But that was going pretty well. But somebody actually sent us, Jake Promer, who we recently met on Twitter through our Top Guy Theater account, sent us 4 shows he wanted us to cover. 2 of them were on the poll I just put out. The other 2 were other show suggestions. I kind of like that better. So if you guys are listening, you guys watch the show, you want to submit a show for us to cover, let me know in the DMs, and I'll put it on the poll. It beat WrestleMania 18 beat Stampede 97. What else was on there? I don't even remember.
Royal Rumble 2000, wasn't it?
Royal Rumble 2000 was on there.
And was it an ECW event? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it was ECW.
Heatwave 98. That's the Heat Wave with the Dudley Boys in Dayton, Ohio. If you ever watched the ECW, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
TJ, I don't mean to hijack and go back a couple points. We're talking about the least favorite Undertaker. My favorite Undertaker is probably one of the least popular ones. I like the old school Taker, but with the purple.
I'm in.
And the only reason I say that is because WrestleMania 13, I was there. I don't even think this part made air. I'm pretty sure it happened before the event. I mean, I was 11, I think, maybe 10. And I remember, like, they killed the lights in the arena before we went live, and it was just the Undertaker's voice over everybody. And he basically made a comment about how he has to go back to the past to bring his future. And we're like, what's that mean? And that's when he came out in the purple for the first time in so long.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I just, pop a chub every time I see the Undertaker in purple.
Anthony Pyrus, what you got?
And one of the reasons, I just want to dive into something. One of the reasons that pop was so big for The Undertaker was leading into that Judgment Day, if you remember, there was vignettes, which made it pretty obvious The Undertaker was coming back. They had the little girls kind of doing the creepy thing there. And so there was really an anticipation that at some point during Judgment Day, he was showing up. And as soon as that thing went up on the screen and the girls started doing their little creepy thing, place came unglued. And then we got the surprise of the dead man. Other thing I wanted to point out, you guys were talking WrestleMania 18. I was there live. Amazing, amazing show to be there live. I know it gets crapped on for a lot of things, but, Hogan Rock was worth the 12-hour drive.
I don't know if I've ever heard WrestleMania 18 crapped on. I mean, who said that and why?
A lot of people have come to me saying the Jericho versus Triple H storyline kind of ruined it.
Oh, come on!
Listen, it's in my top 5 WrestleManias.
Yeah. No, that wasn't aimed at you. That's just that's nitpicking.
I've heard, and I think one of the reasons that people give it a hard time is because it came right after WrestleMania 17, which is widely considered 1 or 1A in the all-time great WrestleManias.
I mean, when you think of the great WrestleManias ever,
Mhm.
it's always, you never go, man, WrestleMania 11, that card was, it's always one match. I don't know why I picked 11, by the way, but it's always one match. But, I mean, if a WrestleMania is missing that match, example, 11, 7, 8, in the Hoosier, my home state, the only one that's ever been in Indiana, the Hoosier Dome. They really don't have that, oh my God, did you see that match on them? But yet, no, go ahead.
7, I'll disagree on 7 because I really think Warrior versus Savage was epic storytelling.
I'm not arguing that at all. But hell, here's an unpopular opinion. Iraqi Sergeant Slaughter is one of my favorite heels ever.
Yes.
I just thought he was so ballsy. And he
Absolutely.
was so good in that role.
Oh,
He is criminally underrated. And by the way, Sheik Tugboat would have sucked so hard.
I would have paid to see that.
Here's the thing. For all of you that are first timers here, we're clearly watching a 1999 Raw, but we spend most of our show talking very little of what we're watching. So just so you're aware, don't get disheartened. We do this every show.
The last 3 shows I have bought things on eBay. So
In fairness, there's not much to talk about when it's Billy Gunn against Kane anyway. So.
And by the way, here is the picture of me at 19.
Oh, you figured just one last thing about 18. You figured sandwiched in between 17 and 19, 2 of the best ever. So that's gonna, that too.
For example, I was at 19. I believe up and down the whole card again, but you never discuss the whole card. It's always one match. I think 19 throughout might be the best WrestleMania card ever.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
The show opens with Matt Hardy and Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title. And then you get Angle Lesnar, you get Austin and Rock for the last time. You get Hogan McMahon. Right. Michaels Jericho stole the show. I mean, if that was even possible in 2003. But 19 gets shit on because of Triple H and Booker T. But what people forget, and the match was dynamite, by the way. But what people forget, that match wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be Triple H Scott Steiner. So the match and the story were both kind of thrown in last second. So I don't fault it for that, and I'm not going to, add to the size of Triple H's shovel because of that match. But, I mean, on Sunday Night Heat, on that show, one of the matches was Kane and RVD versus the Dudleys for the tag titles. Like, that card was stacked, but it never gets discussed because even though as great as Austin Rock was, as great as Angle Lesnar was, it's not Hogan Andre. It's not, it's not Warrior Hogan. It's not Rock Hogan.
Right.
So I think 19 kind of gets forgotten. But I think the quality of the card, I think would put it in the top 5.
I completely agree. And you figure the only WrestleMania moment to come from that is Lesnar almost breaking his neck.
Which I wish you guys would have been there when it happened. I've never heard, I think they said 54,000 people were there. It was the quietest 54,000 people. Like, we did the, ooh, and then it was just quiet because we waited for Brock to move again.
Well, I think WrestleMania 18 gets shit on is because of the Stone Cold Scott Hall match. Scott Hall was having his alcohol problems, and I don't think Stone Cold wanted to fight Scott Hall at WrestleMania 18. And Bruce Pritchard talked about that on that episode. So I think that's why it gets shit on. And the real main event is Hogan Rock. It's not Jericho Triple H.
Right.
So,
Well, Triple H has even said he did not want to go on after that match. Before it happened, he didn't want to go on.
But I consider WrestleMania 18 one of my favorites of all times.
Sure.
And 19 is great too. But yeah, I think that's why it gets shit on. So
go ahead, Anthony.
No, I was going to simply point out some things also about WrestleMania 18, but I wanted to touch back on the WrestleMania 19 thing. I'm going to totally agree with you that as far as card goes and match quality, top 5 easily. easily. But my question, everybody, is how many? I mean, anybody else here go to a WrestleMania? I mean, it's a spectacular time. I've cherished every one I've been to. Which ones have you guys all been to?
I've only been to 19, but and mind you, I live in Northwest Indiana. That was in Seattle, and that actually the day of the show was my 18th birthday,
Oh, okay.
March 30th, 03. But preliminarily, Mike Cope and I might be headed to Tampa this year. So
Oh, we're going.
Well, I went to 29 for Cena Rock 2 for the second time for once in a lifetime.
yeah,
Yeah, I went to, so I already kind of alluded to, my first Mania was WrestleMania 13. I went to WrestleMania 23 in Detroit.
my cousin David was also at that one.
And then I went to WrestleMania 30 in NOLA. So
But you kind of buried the lead here, Mike. What was the
Yeah.
first pay-per-view you ever went to?
first pay-per-view I ever went to was WrestleMania 13.
Okay, well then the second one.
What was the second one? Now you got me doing math. Spring Stampede. No, I went to a few between WrestleMania and Spring Stampede 2000.
Well, regardless, what I was getting at, he went to WCW Spring Stampede 2000.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Because I also wasn't there Judgment Day where Austin declares himself the winner
Yes.
against Undertaker? I was there. I saw Austin get fired.
You lucky bastard.
I dude, anytime they came to Chicago, I went. It was like, not to get too graphic, but it was the one night my dad knew he could get it in, so he'd just buy me tickets to go with a friend and send me with them, and my dad would just stay at home. So it was like, okay.
Well played. Well played. Actually, duly noted also as a dad. Duly noted.
Yes.
Adam O'Neill, you live across the pond. Have you
Yeah.
ever made a WWE show or pay-per-view or
No.
WrestleMania anything?
No, my first pay-per-view was actually supposed to be NXT UK. We're supposed to do a takeover in Dublin. That was supposed to happen in October, and I was supposed to go to that, but obviously that's been cancelled. So, but I'm hoping now that I've met the likes of Olive that I might travel across at some point to attend a pay-per-view.
Well, allow me to throw an invitation for you to join Mike and I in Tampa next year.
100%.
So I'd be well up for that.
Jason Reef, how about you?
My first pay-per-view in general, Unforgiven 2001 here in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it was where Angle made Austin tap out even though he was under the rope. That's the loudest I've ever heard the arena here in Pittsburgh. It was that was really cool. The show was okay, but that was a really cool, really good match and really great finish to the show. Really cool to see the Angle family in the ring.
I like to call myself the Forrest Gump of wrestling shows because I kind of stumbled into WrestleMania 19 because of a birthday present.
Oh, nice.
We were 12 rows away from the ring, and I think 11 rows from the ramp. So we're on the show a lot. But the next show, I didn't go to a show for 13 years. I think after that, the next show I go to was the Raw in Indianapolis at the Conseco Fieldhouse. That ended up being the Paul Bearer Memorial Show, where CM Punk stole the urn.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So that was the next show I went to. The show after that, I went to Extreme Rules, like 2015 or 16. Cena and Rusev in a Four Corners flag match or some goofy shit was the main event in that one. And then I went to a house show in Hammond, Indiana, like 2 years ago. That was the first house show there in like 45 years because Hammond and WWE had some contractual pissing contest. They were never in Hammond, and they finally came back, and I went to that house show.
Was the Big Show there?
In Hammond?
Yeah.
God, if he was, I don't remember. I do know I have a red Cesaro autographed T-shirt, a Cesaro section T-shirt with the Swiss thing in the middle. Somewhere around here. I think it's over there in my stash of shit I haven't hung up in the basement in the man cave yet.
I may just tell a real quick story just because I did this.
I wish you would.
In the Discord app, just my worst experiences was the Extreme Rules here back in 18 where it was Ziggler and Ziggler, he did the 30-minute Iron Man match for the IC title.
But which, by the way, that already, I'm not interested in the match. A 30-minute Iron Man match?
Yes.
Most matches go 25.
Yeah. Well, anyway, just the crowd, The crowd ruined that for me because they decided it would be cute to every minute that they would do the 10-9-8 like it was the Rumble, and they made the noise. And it's kind of funny because Ziggler got picked up on a mic, and it's available on YouTube somewhere. He says they eventually turned the clock off, and the crowd just got more obnoxious. And Ziggler said, I wish I could remember who he was wrestling, but Ziggler said, "Damn it, it was worse when the clock was on. What the hell?" It was terrible. It was annoying.
Fun fact about Iron Man matches. We were having a pretty hardcore trivia competition on the chat pack. And for the win, TJ Stevens' last question he was given was, how long was the WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match supposed to be? Come on now.
By the way, one of the questions Mike Kolb got was, what office did the Jackal have in Canada? Not that is not made up, by the way. That was his question. Mine was, at WrestleMania 12, how long was the Iron Man match supposed to be?
Yep.
By the way, does anyone know the answer to the Jackal question? Because Mike does. He does now.
Well, the way that question was like worded was horrible because really it was just he was a member of parliament. That's all it was.
Oh, that's it. He was just a member of the government.
But it was like, what office did he hold? And what? And I'm not gonna lie, I even was trying to buy myself time. Like, well, I'm gonna cheat and blow everybody's minds out of the water and go look this up. It's not even on his damn Wikipedia page. Like,
Really?
yeah.
That's bananas. Oh, there's China. Did I just see Bradshaw in a backwards taxi cab hat?
Yeah, what the hell is he wearing?
Oh, just real quick, go back to Gunn's entrance. Did anybody see the girl come out and attack him, give him a huge hug, and
Yes.
throw it in?
Was that legit?
I don't know. It seemed like a real fan. They got her off pretty quickly.
But Kane attacked her right at. Oh Lord, Paul Bear's passed out. But Kane attacked her or attacked Billy Gunn pretty much immediately after. That's the only reason why I asked.
Yeah.
Because again, they were trying to push Billy Gunn because I think he wins. I think he wins the King of the Ring the end of this month. The end of this month. So I mean, they're pushing Billy Gunn as the next heartthrob. Well, Shawn Michaels. That's an interesting topic actually, because we all grew up. I'm 35. I'm sure you guys are somewhere around there. What? Oh God, I love Mankind. Son of a bitch, I love Mick Foley. But what do you think? What do you think Billy Gunn was missing? That he was just not able to make that leap in '99, 2000, and even when he became the one Billy Gunn in '01. Like what was he missing that he just couldn't quite clear the fence?
Creative.
I don't know. I mean, yes to your point. Go ahead, Anthony.
I think he was missing presence. Technically, bell to bell, the guy was fine. He could put together a decent match. But when it came to him having to cut a promo, he always to me looked so uncomfortable. The only time he seemed comfortable was when he did his typical, hey, and if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. And I saw this guy start off as the Smoking Gun.
Yep.
He was horrible as Rockabilly. I mean, look, the gimmick was terrible. Don't get me wrong. But in the hands of a guy like the Honky Tonk Man, he made something like that work. Even Double J Jeff Jarrett made something like that work. He just did not have, in my opinion, he just didn't have that star's presence. When he's standing next to the Road Dogg, who is just loaded with charisma, 100%, he was a star there. And he had to be a tag team wrestler. He had to be in a group to make it work, which is where he is now with the Nightmare Family. But my point being, he had a lot of the tools physically. God, the guy's put together better than I am, for crying out loud. Look how good looking I am. But he simply, but he never had the ability to put that whole package together. My opinion. What do you think?
All right, Michael, what do you think?
I agree. I think he was better suited for tag team wrestling. Maybe that's why when he was in DX, all he said was, we've got 2 words for you. And that's all he had said. I mean, Road Dogg carried the promo. He came out talking. And, I also think that the card is just too stacked. I mean, you've got Stone Cold Steve Austin. You've got The Rock. You've got Undertaker. It's too stacked. How's he supposed to compete with that?
By the way, I love that the big reveals here were Pat Patterson and Joe Briscoe. And I'm pretty sure this is Sean.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a grander point here, but I want to get through everyone's take first. Adam O'Neill, why did Billy Gunn never get to the limelight?
I kind of agree with what the lad said. I find that I don't know, maybe just along the lines of like he was in tag team wrestling for so long that like it just kind of yeah, like he was in tag team wrestling for so long that I don't know, singles didn't kind of like, in my eyes anyway, singles didn't like kind of suit him, like, you know, like he was very good from bell to bell, but like when it came to the likes of like doing a proper promo by himself, or even just kind of wrestling a full kind of match without being able to tag out. So I find also like I completely agree with what Michael said about the stack card and the fact that like there was just so many kind of top talents at the time. It was just it was a kind of good idea on paper, but it just didn't work.
Jason?
Well, it's quite apparent from my Discord profile picture. I'm a huge Billy Gunn fan and always thought he deserved better. But whenever you're given the name Mr. Ass and your gimmick is going out and mooning everybody, I don't know, it's kind of hard. And then on Something to Wrestle, you figure Bruce brought up his asthma issue. Maybe that's it.
Well, we all know he loved to lick him and he loved to stick him.
Who wants to sing the song?
But I just kind of did. But here's my thing with Billy Gunn. Because if you name all members of DX, both iterations, the Shawn and Triple H, and then the following, I think most people would say Billy Gunn was the only one that wasn't a main event guy, because Road Dogg certainly was. Him and Rock had a good thing going in 99 and 2000. Sean Waltman, anytime he got thrown to the main event, whether it be with Kane or, you know, whoever Triple H was feuding with at the time, to kind of just buy Triple H some time for that one paper, build it up a little bit more for that one pay-per-view, made The Rock, and then, you know, get him to one of the big five at the time. Billy Gunn's the one, right? And I think so. X-Pac, when he was 1-2-3 Kid, got the title match with Bret Hart in '94. That legitimized him as a main event guy. It happened again. He's tagging and feuding with Kane. Here's my cat. He feuded with Triple H even after DX broke up. With Road Dogg, when he was doing the hardcore thing and then the European title, and I think he had to run as the IC champ. He's kind of crossing paths with main event guys in that time frame. Billy Gunn never really did until he won King of the Ring 99. And like, you know, name one main event, at least opponent, as a single Billy Gunn ever had before The Rock. I'll wait. There was not one.
Wait, ask the question again, TJ. I'm sorry.
A main event, single feud Billy Gunn had before he won King of the Ring 99. And now all of a sudden he's thrust in that position. And by the way, he's going up against The Rock. There's not one.
I think of Ken Shamrock. He had a minor feud with Ken Shamrock, and that's about it.
Well, I mean, Shamrock was doing the thing with Ryan, his sister, and Val Venus was in it too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So I mean, you're still sharing the stage, but I mean, to be fair, Shamrock and Val could carry that feud. Billy my point about Billy, I think he could have gotten there. He just never really had the chance to blossom and develop as a single star to get to that point. And if you go through the King of the Rings from, well, all of them, the two biggest disappointments have got to be Mabel in 95 and then Billy Gunn in 99. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
There's no arguing that at all. No.
Because even when Regal won it, it fit him. which we could get into a whole nother conversation. Well, Regal should have been champ, but another day, because I will go all goddamn night about that. Anthony, what do you got, buddy?
The final nail in Billy Gunn's coffin. I'm glad you brought up King of the Ring 1999 because my brain started working. It took, first of all, they put him with The Rock and they jobbed him out. They tried to give him the Intercontinental title. That didn't work. But if you remember,
The Rock buried him too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But if you remember about 2 years later, a year later, when Edge became King of the Ring, they went on Monday Night Raw and cut this absolutely scathing promo on Billy Gunn. For whatever reason, they cut this promo on Billy Gunn saying, "I promise I will not Billy Gunn this crown." And look, no offense to Billy Gunn, but when you are trying to verbally joust with Edge and Christian, you're simply not going to win.
Yeah, can't do it.
And that was now he won the King of the Ring 99, got buried by Rock, and the final burial was he had no answer for Edge and Christian. But I'm going to argue one small point you made about Mabel. Yes, it was terrible, awful. God forgive me. I made my wife watch that pay-per-view on our first night as a married couple.
Oh man!
But at least they tried to make him a main eventer. Yes, we were in Florida, and the bar had King of the Ring 95. My first full day as a married man, day one of our honeymoon. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my wife and I watched King of the Ring 1995, and believe me, I don't know how she stayed married to me for 25 years.
Well, again, so let's compare the two.
Okay.
King of the Ring 99. We all know Billy Gunn would feud with The Rock and fail miserably. And it's not his fault. The Rock's a once-in-a-generation guy, especially on the mic. Billy Gunn was the mic guy of the two of New Age Outlaws. He's not, by the way. That's what he was perceived. Mabel in 95. What did Mabel do between King of the Ring and SummerSlam 95 when he faced Diesel for the title? I'll wait.
He did score a clean pinfall against Razor Ramon at In Your House 2 the following month.
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
No, at In Your House 2, it was Savio Vega and Razor Ramon against Men on a Mission.
Oh,
and
okay.
He pinned Razor clean. I'm with you on Mabel not being a great king, but he did it. They at least gave him a high-profile victory leading in. That's it.
Now you just tickle my memory. I remembered. I forgot that happened. But okay, but how long was Mama Thing after King of the Ring? They were broken up too much longer after that.
2-3 months. Yep.
Yeah. So, but and also after Mabel loses to Diesel at SummerSlam, we really don't hear from Mabel again.
Other than that great Yokozuna match In Your House 4.
Stop it. Stop it right now.
Be
Here
gone.
comes Deborah McMichael. Oh,
Puppies.
Sable Lord. And Nicole Bass. Jesus.
Oh, Nicole
Christ.
Bass.
Puppies.
Mike, I'm going to need you to mute your mic during this next part. So here's the thing. I know, let's change the topic entirely, which we'd love to do on this show.
Here comes
What
Deborah.
about Billy Gunn? I don't know how much there is left to say about Billy Gunn. I think we cover all the bases there. I think it could have been whatever, but I have a very unpopular opinion about women's wrestling today.
Oh boy.
I'm probably one of the few. Actually, I know I'm one of the few. I think Sable here in '99 as the prima donna, super celebrity. She done Playboy. Too big for her britches, women's champion, doesn't deserve to have it, but she has it. Would go over phenomenal today. With the likes of Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Britt Baker, all these women who can wrestle, can talk on the mic. She can only do one, let's be honest, Sable. But she's the champ. They kind of did with Carmella. Although Carmella's gotten better in since then. But I think Sable would be dynamite today in any women's division. Good Lord.
Oh, God almighty,
Man.
folks. Woo.
What are we doing? Pushing the envelope here in '99. My gracious. And Deborah's wearing Deborah's wearing like an old, like the most conservative ball gown I've ever seen in my life.
Is this
Like-
where Deborah gets stripped of her? Is this where Deborah gets stripped of her dress, but they declare her the winner anyway?
Yes, the
Yeah.
loser of the match gets declared the women's title, and this is just to get the title off Sable. Bruce has talked about this. They had to get the title off Sable without diminishing her. So Deborah gets stripped down because of Nicole Bass, and Deborah gets the women's title. I will not say the same thing about Deborah McMichael I just said about Sable, by the way.
Is Nicole Bass still with us, or is she passed on?
I think we'll Google. I think she has passed away.
Nicole Bass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she gone.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think.
Thanks, Hawk Harrelson. 3 people got that reference.
There's our friend Mike Chioda.
She
We got-
passed away
we
3
got-
years ago.
We got a referee. We got a referee. We have a run-in coming in here whenever his video feed pops in. We're waiting.
Did y'all listen to Mike Chioda?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have not yet.
Good.
So
Very good.
I don't mean to cut everyone off. We'll come back to Kyoto here in a second. We have a run-in. Tyler Cordingley has joined the show.
Hello.
And Tyler, you kind of became an overnight sensation here on Ad Free Shows because of your testimonial on Locked and Loaded with Eric Bischoff. And first of all, on behalf of everyone here in the room right now, powerful stuff. And by the way, condolences on your mother.
Thank you.
Hope everyone else is doing well and what have you. So if you would like, if not, you can tell me to pass. But if you would like, the floor is yours to please tell your story, because all of us want. I mean, we got parts of it, but there's pieces missing. So tell your story of what happened recently. If I remember right, you said in the last week, correct?
So honestly, my mom, she hasn't really been herself for, it's been close to 20 years. And first it was, finding out that she had just regular liver disease. And then that became cirrhosis. And then in about March of this year, that's when she told me that they had found some cancer in her liver. And at this time, we also found out that my wife was pregnant with our 3rd child. So kind of a lot happening, but she told us about the cancer. And then at the time she was still hopeful as far as obtaining a transplant goes. So she went through the avenues to try to do that. But in the midst of that, she fell and she had a bit of a brain bleed and she had to have a brain surgery this year. And little by little, stuff just started adding up. She had an ablation where they burned off one of the tumors in the liver, but they couldn't get rid of the other one. They said it was too small, but that one that was too small ended up obviously growing and going to other parts of her body. She's known kind of that this was coming. But I guess most recently, sorry, I'm a little scattered, but most recently, the Mayo Clinic invited them to be able to go over to Rochester, Minnesota, to see if they could help her with the transplant. And we knew that the trip would take a lot out, but because of my mom's brain surgery, she couldn't fly. So my dad drove her, and they went out to Minnesota. And unfortunately, they had confirmed that there's nothing that could be done for my mom, and that she had a couple months left. So they get that information, and they start coming home. I live in Norman, Oklahoma, just outside of Oklahoma City. So they were on their way here, and they stopped in Kansas City to stay for the night. And when they went to leave, my mom fell out of the vehicle, and they had to get an ambulance for her. And so they took her to a hospital out there, and her body had started turning septic, and was retaining a lot of ammonia and things like that. And they pretty much confirmed that she was going to end up going in the hospice care at the hospital there. So on Monday, I left work and I took my brother and my wife, and we drove out to Kansas City. And she was already unconscious, but I got to sit with her for about an hour, and got to talk to her a little bit. And she tried to open her eye and gasp for air when we went to leave. And I know she couldn't say anything, but I knew that she heard me. And she squeezed my dad's hand the day before that. And on a Wednesday, my dad, he was at the hospice with her. I ended up having to come back because I got 2 kids here in Oklahoma, and my wife's pregnant and she wasn't even supposed to travel. So we left and we came back, and my dad had stepped out of the hospice room for just a few minutes, and when he had stepped out, she had passed. So they kept her really comfortable there. I can't say enough about the hospital in Kansas City that kept her there. But it's been really hard, especially on my dad. They have been married for 31 years. So quite a long time. They had met each other. My dad, he was in the Navy, and one of his friends in the Navy introduced him to my mom, and then not even, I guess it was within 2 years I showed up, and then I have a younger brother as well. So that's kind of what's been going on with her. And obviously I'm a major fan of wrestling. I've watched it since about 99, but I'd gone through and watched a lot of back catalog and stuff. She'd make me do chores and stuff to be able to watch. So she'd be kind of amused that the people I was trying to go watch are the people who are helping me now in my life. But Eric, he I was just tagging people, just hoping anybody would share the info, because my dad's trying to raise some money because he had to get her cremated out in Kansas City and pay for a lot of things he wasn't planning on paying for, and she obviously had no life insurance. And just for him to even spread the word and then to give some of his own money was just tremendous. And then I don't even know, I just took my kid to get her tooth pulled today, and then like right after that I'm talking to Eric Bischoff, and then I'm getting invited here. So it's pretty nice to have such a helpful community. And I will go ahead and one of you just sent me a message about the link. I'll go ahead and find that link, and I will get that over to you.
All right, so here's what I want to happen right now. We're watching
you said highest rated one. Are we talking the April 21st, 97?
May 10th, 99. So
May
I want
10th,
everyone
99.
go to your browser that's playing the network right now and press pause in 3, 2, 1. Should be at 39:32. We're going to have Tyler Party with us here in a minute.
All right.
It sounds like he needs it. Pull it up. May 10th, 99. Lauren Yaffe just joined us as well. Lauren, the Lauren, you just missed a phenomenal story. I'm not going to ask him to repeat it. But here's why I want to pause. Not just for you to join, and then Mike, Lauren, and I are kind of the senior members, not only the show but of ad-free shows altogether. I've been since March. Lauren, I think you were before me even. And
no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, I lied then. But I think so many people hear from us that it's a family thing. It's a family feel we all have in this community. And I'm sure people read that and go, whatever. But because, it sounds like a salesman pitch.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I'm not going to lie. It does. But I've talked to, Frank Bruno. His story is something else to listen to. Joey Carr has one of the most uplifting and heartbreaking stories at the same time I've ever heard in my life. Yours, same way. It's your mother's story, and by the way, condolences.
Thank you.
My family's dealt with cancer, luckily not to that level, but I've been there. And also, just for your own reference, Matt Levitt, who's on our show normally, our lawyer at large, lives in Kansas City. Just so you know.
Okay. I used to live
outside.
out there for a bit too, and it's It's kind of like my second home, honestly.
Yeah.
I go there at least, twice a year. I actually went there for Dynamite this year, back before COVID decided to just fucking ruin everything.
Yeah.
And I saw that Pac and Kenny Omega Iron Man match. Like Kansas City, I love that place, and it sucks that she couldn't go at home because I know she wanted to. But I mean, I couldn't have written like a different chapter for her, like I think everything kind of happened how it needed to happen. And instead of being negative and stuff about it, because I've pretty much spent all year just miserable about this. And that's not what she wants, so I'm trying to just be happy and positive and just friendly to everybody, and I just want to treat everybody with love because that's what she did.
Tyler, I hope you don't mind me jumping in here, TJ, but I got a question. Tyler, are you not a member of Ad Free Shows?
Nope. I got 2 kids, so I thought about joining like the lower tier on it.
You should.
Again,
I'm not pitching the show.
Yeah.
But you absolutely should.
Yeah, for sure. So my buddy Jeremy, he joined it, and he's the one who kind of he was able to kind of set all this stuff up, with me here, and I definitely appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, if this is what it's like, yeah, I definitely need to.
But
hop
also,
on that.
just again, Matt Levitt, who's normally on our show, he's an attorney. He lives in just outside of Kansas City. Michael Amend, who's on the show right now, lives in Norman, Oklahoma.
Oh, are you for real? What's up?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna hop in. If
Who
I can.
ironically is also an attorney.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you in Norman this weekend?
Yeah. I'm just chilling here. I live over by Norman North,
Okay.
high school off of Rock Creek here.
I want to bring your family a meal this weekend.
Oh man, that's super awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So-
Will you DM me your phone number, and I'll make that happen either today or tomorrow. How about
Yeah,
that?
that'd be tremendous, and I greatly appreciate that for sure. And it's nice to see another person from the area on here.
Absolutely. Love Norman.
This is
Yeah, man, it's the best.
It is.
this has been silly, but I mean that in like again, you've been here for what, 5 minutes? All these connections are getting made.
Right, I know.
I want to hear Lauren Yaffe. You just got brought in. You've been hosting these events since what, June?
I think June, late May, maybe, or June. Yeah.
I want you to because again, this is not the first time this has happened. A story like this has been told, and they're never any less impactful every time. I mean, every time they get told, it's something to behold. I've never seen any of the hosts break down like I saw today. So you hosted all these shows, and even you yourself showed, the emotional side. So I want you not just to talk about today, but the connections, the emotional connections we really do make on, because I mean, it's not just rumor, it's not just it happens, it's real.
Well, you got me crying again. So I'm not ready to talk about it. Tyler, I do want you to know, Eric was really taken aback and a little shaken up by it. And he kind of bailed really quickly. So I reached out to him immediately. I kind of wrapped the show up and gave him a call. And I was like, I didn't mean to take you by surprise. I hope you're okay. And he was like, no, I'm fine. Can you get me that young man's phone number? I'd like to reach out to him. So I got in touch with Jeremy and motion for you. It's just, it happens all the time. I feel like I've probably, and it's just me because I'm a baby, but probably cried at 25% of these shows. You just really get to know people on a human level, and to be getting to know some of your childhood heroes on that human level is really cool. But then to make friendships like the ones you see in this room, and there's so many others, there's so many little groups of people, and then the groups are friends with other groups, and it's just a really cool place to be, and it's cool to be a part of it.
The first one I can recall, I don't mean to cut you off, Tyler.
No, you're good.
The first one I can recall was one happened just before I became a top guy, and that was Brandy and Arn Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She, correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, because I don't know all the details. I wasn't there, but she's blind. Yes.
She is blind and was recovering from COVID.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and she got to talk to Arn. And again, I wasn't there, and it's unfortunate. I wish I would have been. I came with Big Top Guy like the next week, but apparently that stopped the show on its tracks. The first one I can remember was Frank Bruno and asking Jim Ross about through Bell's palsy, because Frank Bruno has Bell's palsy. After that, it would have been, and that was the first time, by the way, when I was talking to JR. You know, we go into these things have wrestling questions, because these are our wrestling heroes. You know, the legends of wrestling lore. And I heard Frank go and have a heart-to-heart with JR, who was more than willing to share what he knew and what he's gone through, and then give Frank an uplifting message about Bell's palsy. I suddenly didn't want to talk wrestling anymore. My wrestling questions seemed stupid.
It's crazy because I figured, I mean, yeah, it's exactly like you said. Someone who is associated with wrestling to where, and especially someone like Eric who has the mind for it that he does. I mean, you could talk to him for a week straight without sleeping and not ask enough questions and get.
And
all
you
the
also
answers
won't get a
from
word,
him.
and you won't get a word in edgewise.
Exactly, you ain't gonna say shit. So, and
we kid because we love Eric. We kid because we love.
Exactly. Just ribbon. So it's, and then to just be able to, he left me a voicemail because I missed his call. I was getting home from the dentist with my kid, and he left a voicemail that was very personal and very touching. And it's nice that wrestling can be what brings us together, but it doesn't have to be all that there is about us.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Real quick, TJ. That being said, I two things. One, I want to continue this conversation. We should resume the show. So if everybody wants to get to the right timestamp.
We are at 39-32, Big Boss Man versus Test, a Hall of Fame encounter we're witnessing on Raw right now. So
this is May 10th, right?
Yeah, I'll give you guys a couple seconds, and then we'll get started back up.
And while you're looking that up, Tyler, just in case you were confused, TJ's house is not on fire. He just likes to burn incense. So when you see
so do I, man. I got some over here on my my little breakfast counter thing. So yeah,
what's your scent?
Right now, I got some dragon's blood fired up.
I got Flower Bomb.
Oh, nice. Where do you get yours at?
There's actually, I don't mean this to sound the wrong way. It's just the fact. There's a Marathon gas station on the roof of my house owned by Arab Americans, and they have bomb-ass incense. That's the only place I'll go.
Yeah, that's where I go to get my weed stuff, so it's all good. I got a Valero over here off the street.
TJ and I live in Indiana, so we go to Illinois to get our weed stuff. No,
or Michigan, or Ohio, or Wisconsin, anywhere that's not Indiana.
And while everybody's looking up, I just want to ask Lauren, are you still drinking? Because it's been about 4 hours now.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Well, also, one last thing before we baptize Tyler in Top Guy Theater watching. I know we all have beverages. Let's raise the toast to our new friend, Tyler, and to your mother.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So let's go back to the network and ready to start the show. Let's press play. Again, we're at 39-32. Big Boss Man and Test.
Hi, Maddie.
So let's get ready to start in 3, 2, 1, play. Here we go.
There it is. We got some hosses in here.
Also, just to throw it out there, tonight, and for those of you guys watching this on all the other platforms that will get released in the next few days, I'm sure. When I say tonight, it's Saturday. Full Gear is tonight. We're going to be doing a watch along on the chat pack. So for everybody that's here with us today on Top Guy Theater recording, you guys are welcome to do run-ins. I can't have everybody in at the same time, but definitely if you're going to be watching Full Gear, by all means, feel free to join us. Either stream us on Periscope, Twitch, whatever it may be, Or if you want to be a part of the conversation, like I said, I'll try and get as many people in as I can on that. And you're welcome to join. I know Mike Lamend was planning on being there. TJ will be there. Lauren Yaffe will be there. But she's going to be drinking for the next 7 hours if she wants to be there. So I don't know how that's going to work out. Tyler, if you're watching Full Gear, please feel free to join.
I am. My buddy Jeremy, actually, he just texted me and said he was going to be in Oklahoma. So I think he's going to come over and we're going to go ahead and watch it. So I think we'll definitely look into doing that. I'll set up the computer and I'll eat a shit ton of edibles and we'll have a good time.
Oh shit! Do we also have Rocco DeRose, the model, joining us?
Rocco, the model DeRose, will be joining us. Carl and everybody that's in Jacksonville will be coming to us live from location on the pre-show and the post-show. It's gonna be a wild ride. I will not be wearing my NWO shirt looking like I just woke up out of bed. So
he'll put on a different black T-shirt.
We got the Chiefs. I got to represent the Chiefs.
Come on, Tyler.
Yeah, come on. Sorry, buddy.
So, by the way, hey, Anthony Pyrrhus, the Bears are 1-0 against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Just so, whatever. They're 1-0. They're 1-0 against. I hate you now.
I feel so bad real quick. Lauren's been texting me and she's like, what's the date on the Raw again? And so I tell her 3/10/99, not realizing it's really 5/10/99.
Yeah.
So she's like, are you sure? Because I have 3/8 and 3/15.
Way to go. Way to go there, co-host.
I don't know if you're watching her, but in the corner, all I see is her like squinting at the TV because I think her vision's already double. So she's like,
It's May 10th. It's May 10th, Lauren.
I'm going to get to it.
So
I'm
just
scrolling.
When you get there, just get to Val Venus makes a challenge to Jeff Jarrett and just pause it. And when we get there, I will let you know because Mike's an asshole.
Sounds good.
Can I say two things?
Yes,
No.
I wish you would.
The first one, Anthony. How do you pronounce your surname?
Pirates.
As
Pirate.
in apple pie, rest without the T.
Or Corona Pyrus.
There you go. There you go. Even better. I appreciate it, TJ.
Okay, that's good to know.
I love you guys.
The second thing is Lauren. Congratulations on her Twitter handle. I've seen it was updated.
Say that again.
Congratulations on your Twitter handle.
Oh, thank you. That was such a victory for me to get that. I know it's not that big of a deal, but I was really excited about it.
We're very happy, Lauren, that you got it. I'm glad that you were able to change your Twitter handle, and with any luck, someday I'll change your last name. Moving on.
Hot damn.
Mike's gonna mess around and get in trouble.
I said, God damn.
Find himself a stalker.
By the way, you guys, I miss Big Boss Man.
Me too.
A lot.
Underrated.
A lot.
He was so good in this era.
Test also.
The first episode of SmackDown I watched was actually the Big Boss Man at Big Show's funeral. So,
stop it.
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Have
we
you
didn't have
heard?
cable.
Have you heard the story of that shoot from Bruce?
Yes, for sure. It's
Jesus
amazing.
Christ. Bruce was like, well, we're never coming back to this
Exactly.
cemetery, so let's just
you
get
killed,
the shit
you
over
killed the
with.
cemetery. I don't know how you kill a cemetery, but they killed the cemetery.
Good Lord. Phenomenal. But so we just had the discussion. How did Billy Gunn never make the jump to main event? How did Test never get there?
Because after SummerSlam 99, The Rock fucking buried his ass in a promo and like disregarded him.
Well,
like,
yeah. No, is that the
and
king?
killed him.
He had just won King of the Ring.
Yes. And he's like, Mr. Ass, why am I wrestling Mr. Ass? And then I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm done with Billy.
Oh, by the way, I'm fairly certain Billy wrestled The Rock at SummerSlam in a thong.
If
I remember
right.
In the see-through black shorts.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Test is 6'6", 280 pounds, former bodyguard for Motley Crue, was fairly good in the ring for being a big guy. I don't remember too many of his promos. That might have been his shorts, but how does Test not get his run at the main event?
Well, so can you tell me how many world heavyweight title shots Test received?
I bet you got more than 2.
He had to have gotten more than in '99. He had to have gotten more than 2.
When he was in the corporation, I bet you he got more than 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Who,
One.
Ted?
He got
Oh.
one. One.
Yeah, one. The
Oh.
ECW December to Dismember.
Well, I'm talking just W, not the ECW title, but yes,
Oh.
if you include the ECW title, he got 3 WCW title or ECW title. He only went after the WWF World Title in '99. He faced Triple H on a Monday Night Raw, probably during the whole Triple H
Yeah,
Stephanie
yeah, that
storyline.
was.
Yeah, and that was only because of the whole storyline. Like, you know, what,
Exactly.
like, it wasn't because like that they thought he was going to be a top superstar. Like,
Well, and we made the argument that at this time in '99, the main event is crowded. You have The Rock, you have Mick Foley, you have Austin, Undertaker. The Rock is starting to butt here in '99. Triple H is starting to butt here in '99. But to me, that's a sorry argument because Mick Foley was never supposed to win the WWF title.
Mm-mm.
Foley got himself over and won the title. So, Billy Gunn and Test both. I will grant you, yes, there is something to be said about a crowded main event. Big Boss Man should not have been a main eventer, but he had several title chances here in this time frame because he's a Big Boss Man. Why? How does Test, with his size, his stature, his introduction, for God's sakes, he was thrust into the main event. How does he get out of the business with 3 world title chances?
You know, it's
Promos?
funny.
I don't know.
It's funny. I kind of want to watch this one. I didn't even know this happened.
Oh, by the way, Lauren, press play.
I can't log in for some reason.
Oh, see, you've
Credit
been
card.
You've been
Credit card.
You've been flirting with Bischoff. They kicked you out.
Jesus,
Maybe
I got a couple fun trivia things for you guys on Test. First of
Yes,
all, did you
I'm
know?
ready.
If somebody could tell me Test's full name, I will comp them a month
Andrew
on
Martin.
ad-free shows.
Andrew
Martin.
Michael Martin.
Oh, I forgot the Michael.
Andrew James Robert Patrick Martin.
Good God.
I made up his middle name and still got it wrong.
Too many
Uh,
names. Way too
yeah.
many names.
But I did not know this. He had
I
a
was
match.
muted and I said it.
Yeah,
Speaking of,
yeah. Okay, Anthony.
speaking of King of the Ring '95,
Yeah.
Here comes Phineas, Godwin, and Mabel. Oh, wait, no, it's Visser and Midian.
And TJ, I think for a bonus content show, we should try and stream this. I did not know that Test had one match in TNA.
Yes.
And he tagged with Abyss and Sting to take on AJ Styles, Christian Cage, and Tomko in a Doomsday Chamber of Blood 6-man tag match.
Do you know why
Wow.
he only had one match in TNA?
No.
Because he died right after that match.
Well, way to go dark on us. TJ.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Bang bang.
Bang bang. Mick Foley's my favorite. I didn't realize how much I
What?
love. I mean, not like my overall.
Oh, no. That was not a knock, Tyler.
Okay.
Sir, hold on just a second. Sir, if I may, let me stand
boy.
up. I need to get up.
You're talking to Mick Foley's #1 fan there, Tyler.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Good deal. Yeah.
I've got, have a nice day. Oh, shit. I've got Countdown to Lockdown for reasons I'll never understand. I've got The Hardcore Diaries.
Oh my gosh.
I've got Foley is good. He's better than good. He's great.
Oh shit.
As
You
I
got
say
Tatum
about-
Brown? You got the
Not yet. That's coming.
Oh yeah.
But I also have his Cactus. I got a Cactus Jack shirt, and I have one of his Japan shirts.
Nice. Dude, I did not realize how much I loved him until I went and I listened to a bunch of What Happened When, and they kept talking about all the stuff he was doing with Vader. So I went back and I watched it. and
Insane.
holy fuck, that's some good stuff. Like,
Foley's
is
my boy.
incredible. And
Foley
then, like,
is my boy.
just so good. Like, it's just I don't know, man. He's the best.
Lauren, have you joined the room yet?
I was putting in the wrong email address, so let me
Good
let me
Lord.
try this again.
What's really crazy about all those books that TJ has is when you realize he doesn't know how to read, it makes it kind of weird. But
Aw, TJ.
I was born and raised in Northern Indiana. The only thing we know how to.
Amazing.
The only thing we know how to do is not like minorities and grow corn. That was a joke, by the way. That was a joke.
Oklahoma knows a lot about the first thing, so
We
I
we
understand
also-
where you're coming from.
We also grown beans. That's the joke.
TJ, when are we gonna get a run-in from the missus? I'm dying. Like I crack jokes all the time about being with your wife. I kind of want to know what she looks like.
Oh no, that boat's already sailed, my friend. You're already on it, whether you like it or not. No, she. So the good thing for me, the bad thing for her, is while I'm doing the show, she's upstairs watching her kids.
Yeah,
But she is a ginger, and let me. I can find a picture of her. I'll find a picture of her, and get her up here so you can fill up your spank bank.
I mean, you already fill up my spank bank, but
That's right, you big brawly man.
So, Tyler, you might have missed it. TJ and I live like, I don't know, an hour from each other. Never met, but
yeah, really.
Someday we'll meet. When
He drove by my house while I was at work one day.
No, dude, you were sleeping.
Oh, that's right. I was in bed. Creepy fuck.
Because I texted you. I was like, hey, when are you sleeping today? Because I was going to stop by and say hi on my way through anyways.
And then you're like, oh, I was with your wife all day. That's weird because I was in bed.
We just know you're a really deep sleeper.
I have a picture of Bertha Faye for reasons I'm not really sure why. Oh, there's Dr. Yankum. What is going on in my pictures?
Oh.
The odd part is that your wife, you have a photo of your wife in with all of that.
Well, it's just all my pictures together. Oh, there's the Atlanta Braves Hank Aaron scorecard I sent to Tony Schiavone. Humble brag.
Yeah, Carl's got a Rick Monday rookie card that he plans on giving Tony tonight.
That's legit.
Oh, that's cool. So
yeah, and I'm not trying to be mean. Timestamp? 5210, 11, 12, 5213, 14, 15.
And for historical context, for people who may not know who Rick Monday is, go back and watch a baseball clip. I think it was from '77. At Dodger Stadium, there's two fans that run to center field and light the American flag on fire, or attempt to. Rick Monday, who played for the Cubs at the time, is the one that runs by and picks the flag up. Mm-hmm. So here's a picture.
That's regarded.
Of myself, the wife, and I think our infant son, who is now 4.
How many kids do you got?
I have 2. Oh, no, it's my son and my daughter, who was a newborn at the time. There you go. There's the fam.
Nice. Beautiful family.
There's the fam.
I don't know if you heard that, but I just, my raging erection hit the bottom of my desk.
Yeah. Oh, did the kids ruin your hair too, man? I understand. Like,
oh, no, I'm bald now. I'm bald
now.
now.
Fuck, man. It's like I tried thinking about growing it,
it's
and
really
like that
nice.
hairline is just going.
I would love to have like the Madden telestrator right now, because if you look, I'd be stuck at the top of my head. Like, if you see what happened here,
yeah,
all this is gone now.
See, what happened is the first one over here on the left just began the process, and
the
then
guard
the one I'm
and the
holding
tackle
right
pulled,
here,
and they went,
and she just took a touchdown on the whole rest of it.
The guard and the tackle pulled. They went second level, so they left the front wide open, and now nothing's there.
So I you guys talk about going bald from having kids. Lauren, what's your story? What made you go bald?
Whoa! What are we doing?
Pritchard sighting on Raw.
Yeah.
Oh, Bruce Pritchard. Picking up a basketball. Can someone explain? Oh, we got to ask Bruce. We have to ask Bruce.
I think he addressed that on Something to Russell, because I think they did a watch along with this episode, and that was supposed to be a gimmick, but that never ended up happening for him. I think I might be wrong.
Was he supposed to be Hubie Brown? Like, what's the gimmick?
I can't remember. This episode was a couple years ago.
For those of you who do not know who Hubie Brown is, he used to be the ex-head coach of the Indiana Pacers.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
And now he's an analyst for TNT and ESPN.
Ah.
And he's like 1,000 years old. Mm-hmm. He's like a Galapagos turtle. Oh, Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman highlight
promo.
video. He knows kung fu.
Ugh, the lethal weapon because he can use weapons and what have you. Now, here's the thing.
Lethally.
Everyone has said if there's one guy on the roster at 99 you're not legitimately fucking with, it's Steve Blackman.
For sure.
Because he will kill you with shit you didn't know you could die from.
He's unfuckwithable like Simmons is.
Yes.
His no holds barred match with Shane McMahon was unbelievable, though.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
Do you guys know what? Do you know what
2000?
Steve Blackman is doing today?
Does he
No
teach
idea.
karate or
No.
something?
He has a martial arts studio in Pennsylvania.
I knew it.
What was the story with Steve Blackman though? Like around this time, like were they trying to push him? Because remember in King of the Ring where he was supposed to replace Shane in the ladder match
Yes.
and all
So
that. Were they trying to push him or?
Yes. So, but it was before this. So if you remember in '97, I think is when he debuted. Might have even been '96. I can't recall off the top of my head. They debuted him, and he was the last minute member of a Survivor Series team against whoever was trying to overtake the company, whatever at the time. I can't remember off the top of my head. But he got super sick right after the show. Like he had some intestinal disease. And Lauren Yaffe's on mute. So I'll go ahead and say that.
I think she's talking to somebody.
Okay. But he got super sick, lost like 80 pounds, 100 pounds, some bananas. So we don't see him again on TV until late 98, early 99, around this time. And he becomes the Lethal Weapon Steve Blackman because he's legit badass martial arts weapons dude. But I think now is when they find out, oh, wait, this guy can't talk on a mic, and he has the charisma of a piece of cheese, thus head cheese became a thing. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Steve Blackman here at 99, I'm in. I loved Steve Blackman.
Yeah, I didn't dislike him, but of course I was watching. I was like 11. I didn't know what a promo was, but could you imagine if Paul Heyman was cutting promos for talent back in 99, 2000?
Steve
Holy
Blackman,
shit.
Steve
All
Blackman,
these guys who had trouble getting over would have been over like Rover.
Steve Blackman would have been a world champion.
For sure.
Where's
Billy
Jim
Gunn.
Cornette when you need him?
So I
God
need,
damn it!
I need to tell you.
Damn.
I need to tell you guys, and if you watch this show regularly, you already know this. I would say for the last, I don't know, all episodes, we've discussed Jim Cornette.
The last all episodes.
Because he's popular, intended or not.
I mean, he
Because-
is. Yeah.
Because he shits on AEW on the reg. And we've all agreed. I don't know what's happening in the ring right now. I don't know if they're getting ready to make out or play patty cake or what's going on. Oh, they're going to fight. Okay. So, but
Yeah.
Cornette. Here's the thing with Jim Cornette. What he says about wrestling specifically, your political viewings, whatever, but wrestling specific is correct for the most part. He's wrong on occasion, but not too often. It's not what he says. It's how he says it. He always says that one thing that just sends it over the cliff. And you're like, God damn it, now I can't get behind that. And I don't know if you guys know this. Jericho tweeted out, I don't know, a week or two ago, that if Cornette would toe the line, we might pay him an advisor role.
What?
Really?
So to Cornette and a lot of his fans, which I'm one of them,
Is Jericho like an unspoken EVP or something of this company? And we
I'm
don't
starting
know
to
about
think I'm starting to think he's pulling the strings in some
How
way.
else is Luther main event and shit?
Thank you. That actually got brought up in a Cornette episode.
Okay, well.
But there's two ways to take that. Either Jericho thinks Cornette is just saying the shit he's saying to get ratings, which would be, I don't know, not I guess a fair viewpoint. Or is Jericho saying if Cornette would just toe the company in line and back us, we'd pay him to be an advisor. But everyone knows that's not who Jim Cornette is. He's gonna die on the pro wrestling cross. That's going to happen. So let's start around the horn. I'm pretty sure Lauren Yaffe does not understand who Jim Cornette is, so I'll skip her for now. Michael Amend, what is your opinion on Jim Cornette, and does he have a place in the wrestling business today?
I think he has a place. The problem is he just doesn't give a shit what he says and who he pisses off. So
those two things don't go hand in hand, by the way.
right. So
He shouldn't care what he says.
The good news is
to a degree, because he goes over the line sometimes.
I mean, the good news for him is in this day and age, there's podcasting, and so he can still talk about wrestling as much as he wants, but I can't see him. He certainly won't go to WWE, but I can't see him back in a wrestling.
No. And that's not what I'm implying.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I'm just no. You're fine. I mean, I should have clarified. I'm not saying he's going to go to WWE, AEW, whatever. But I mean, I'm not going to count them out either. Is there a place for him to go where he would fit? TJ's wife's daddy. What do you think on the matter about Jim Cornette, and also being the pimp for my wife? How is that working out for you?
God damn! She doesn't do enough!
You motherfucker!
No, so listen, I think the one place where Jim Cornette is in a developmental type, environment.
Agreed.
As well as I could see him being like a creative consultant of some sort. You're not going to put him in charge of a writing team.
No.
But if you're like, hey, I want a random up idea, I'm going to call Jim Cornette and see what he thinks, right?
Motherfucker, put him in a
If you need a
box.
finish.
Yeah. But I don't think there's like a real role with him anywhere else. Development, sure. I would even love to see him take on some kind of role in helping train people how to be good managers, or being just training people to do vocal stuff, right? Because that's what Jim did. Otherwise, no place for him.
Well, I mean, the manager role is dead.
That's my point.
Aside from
we
like
need
two
new
people.
talents.
It could use a revival though, because there's so many talent who are good in the ring that just need that promo help.
Or the other way, they're not so good in the ring, but they're great on promos and
yeah.
should probably get the fuck out. Jason Reef, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on Jim Cornette, I mean, I kind of echo what the rest of you guys were saying, that I don't think he's going to have a spot in a major company. I mean, even he ruined his chance when he had that short stint in NWA. What was that, last year? So for what he said on announcing, I forget what he said, but
he said something along the lines.
It was a Trevor Murdoch
I
match,
think it was
wasn't
Trevor
it?
Murdoch. Yeah, he said he's the only guy he knows, and I'm quoting this verbatim, by the way. I'm not.
right.
It's not my opinion. Trevor Murdoch's the only guy I know that could ride on a moped through Africa with a bucket of fried chicken on his back and leave to the other side. Something along those lines. Or
That is what it
Cambodia, something like that. But his defense was, and it's justified, but it's not at the same time. He told that joke about Big Bubba in '88.
Mhm.
Verbatim. So, I mean, it's not like he hadn't said it before, but it's not 1988. And that's what I mean. It's not the points he makes, it's what he says. It's not how he says it, it's what he says.
Right. But I think, like everybody's, I think he would do great as like a coach, like, for help on promos, help on wrestling.
Jonathan Coachman?
No, not like Coachman, no. But no, I think he would do, because, I mean, he knows the wrestling psychology. I mean, maybe he does live a little bit too far in the 70s and 80s, but he knows his shit, and I wish his mind would be used somewhere.
Michael.
Well, first, I would like you to address me by my new name on Zoom.
TJ's kid's a real dad.
Okay. So I'd like to point out that I'm pretty sure this entrance that we just saw on Raw, this was the first time that they used Hulk Hogan's theme music to come out.
I think you're right, yes.
Because I have closed caption turned on, and you could hear, I read Jim Ross basically saying, "Oh my God, can you hear the music?" And then I turned it up. So, like, this is one of the greatest nights in the history of our great sport.
Can I also use this match real quick as a sales pitch for Tyler Accordingly? Gerald Briscoe's now on ad-free shows.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. He's an Oklahoma guy too, so
And he looks like the Wolverine, which I'm
he
all
looks
on board.
badass now.
Dude, he
I am
looks
big
like
time on
a
the train.
beast.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I like it.
Mike Cole, finish your thought.
That was all I wanted to point out.
Okay. Let's see. Who has where's
Laura,
Anthony?
You
Anthony
got
I am
all-
here.
Laura doesn't give a shit about what we're talking about. Anthony Pyrus, what do you got?
I am here. And if we're talking about Jim Cornette, look, I am a devoted listener to the Cult of Cornette. I do have the autographed Pledge of Allegiance to the Cult of Cornette.
I do as well.
I think Jim is a brilliant mind, an absolutely brilliant mind who absolutely belongs in a spot in wrestling. But I do believe at this point in his life and in his career, he is preaching to his choir. He's preaching to his
Yes.
best. Do I believe that he believes every single word he says about, the Young Bucks, Omega? Yes, he hates them, obviously. I think he's so darn I think he knows that he's so darn entertaining, and his fans will eat up exactly what it is he sells. That yes, short answer, yes, there's a place for him, and long answer, he believes he's entertaining the masses, his masses.
Which, I mean, should not go overlooked. He's got a huge following. Huge. Laura,
Yeah, absolutely.
do you know who Jim
I've got
Cornette
3 of his
is?
T-shirts.
Yes, I know who Jim Cornette is. I can't believe you.
What are you? Well, I mean, listen. For the longest time, you led us to believe your only reference in wrestling was Eric Bischoff. So I'm not completely out of
Cornette.
line asking that question. So what are your thoughts on Jim Cornette? I think here's what I think. Jim Cornette's been called sexist more times than I can count. There's a random hand. That's gonna be the hubby. Can I meet him finally?
You're on mute.
You're
I
muted.
have headphones in. Hold
What's the
on.
time
Let me
code?
see.
We are at 107, 28, 29, 30. Pat Patterson showing off that chest meat.
And just going back to that match as well, not only is Gerald Briscoe on it, but also the referee of the match is on ad-free shows too,
Oh, Mike Chioda.
which is quite
By
cool.
the way,
which is quite cool.
is anyone else kind of surprised that he hasn't gotten Pat Patterson?
Yeah.
A little bit, but Pat Patterson, I mean, he's probably got like some major loyalty.
Wait, is
Well,
that
he's got
Lauren's-
Bruce.
Is that Lauren's husband?
What?
So, our condolences to you, sir, that you're married to Lauren.
He has no comment. He just
What's-
he knows.
What's your husband's name?
Nick,
Nick.
what's up, man?
As the host of this show and as one of Lauren's friends,
Aw.
I'm gonna have to ask you to put those guns away because you're surrounded by a bunch of 220-pound plus dudes.
Yeah.
So
You don't
we
want me to.
gave up. Listen, I used to be a power lifter. I could bench 305 at 162 pounds, humble brag. But I mean, I don't do that shit anymore. I'm lazy. I
Is
like
that
video
Carl?
games.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not Carl. I like potato chips. I mean, I just, maybe a hoodie next time. Maybe those NBA sleeves, the shooting sleeves.
Dress yourself a little more appropriate.
Cover them gums up.
TJ loves video games. I think you just missed that detail.
Bro,
I do.
Assassin's Creed comes out next week, bro.
If it's anything like Origins, I'm not impressed. So
Oh, wow, bro.
it was everyone, just no weapons this time.
Oh my god, dude.
I
gotta get that cooking my ribs, dude. But
Slathering some JR's barbecue sauce.
What style?
Yeah.
Ribs.
What
Nice.
style ribs? What sauce are you using?
St. Louis spare ribs, bro. St. Louis style, baby.
What's the sauce you're using?
It's the JR stuff that he sent Lauren.
The normal, the reg, the OG.
I use the dry rub overnight, and I use the regular and the hot.
Nice.
Wait. You're using the stuff JR sent Lauren? I wouldn't trust that.
You just
Just throwing it out there.
Oh my god.
You guys have good, man. It was great meeting you guys.
Hey,
Nice to meet
You
you too,
too.
Nick.
it's good to
Nick.
finally meet you. In all honesty, it really is. I've been.
They didn't think you existed. It was all a rib.
Yeah, I thought you were lying. I thought you were married to Cesaro all this time.
All the time.
He made a run in with Medusa.
He did.
I wasn't there.
Oh,
It was the
That-
daytime.
that was good shit.
Are you guys pumped about Rebel?
Oh, I will be there for Rebel.
What
Oh, I
time
can't
is
wait.
that?
Who cares?
You make the time.
I will.
Oh man,
I think
Jared
it's-
already used his balsa wood guitar tonight. I missed
Let
it.
me. I'm gonna look it up here in my Patreon messages. I should have the time for. They just sent us some messages this morning.
6 p.m. Eastern.
There you
Oh.
go.
Yeah, I will be there.
Thank you, Adam.
Is that a Top Guy only thing?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. So I think a lot of their special guests, because they're gonna do the art with Doug Halladay, which is gonna be great. They're doing the book club, which the next one is my book's upstairs. It's the Honor the Giant biography by God, what's the guy's name? He was on the HBO documentary for Under the Giant. He's like the leading Under the Giant expert in the world. Something Hebert. His last name's Hebert. I can't remember his first name. But he's the next book club, I think, in 2 weeks. Because they're smart and realize we don't read real fast. So they give us several weeks in between book clubs. Which is good. It's good.
Have you guys noticed that,
Stop
like,
playing.
you read a wrestling book, you get it done in like a day or two. You read a regular book, and it takes me like fucking 2 months.
Well, here's
Like,
the
I
thing.
read Under the Black Hat in like a day.
Dude, I read Under the Black Hat in 2 shifts at work.
Yeah, like
It was so good. And I
just
bought
got
it.
mine.
By the way, Michael, I bought it the day that fucker came out.
I got my
I'm
goddamn
an OG.
push.
I'm an OG. And I didn't tell him to write, give me my goddamn push.
Huh?
What did mine say?
Oh, I didn't know you got a sandwich. Look at you.
Mine says,
Wait, people
Two
got sandwiches?
to TJ Stevens' best wishes. That's what mine says.
Nice.
'Cause I'm an original bastard. That's why. I'm just flooding with creativity. Make
Real
mine. Hey, JR, make mine generic as shit.
Real quick, you guys enjoy Rebel tomorrow night. I won't be able to make it, but I'm jealous, and I'm hoping you guys have a good time.
Are you gonna be busy plowing my wife?
No, see, my wife gave me a reprieve, and I'm literally podcasting from 8 a.m. this morning till fucking midnight tonight. So I have to do something with the family tomorrow, bro. I can't sit in front of the
So
computer.
here's what's fun is all this is happening tonight with Mike Kolb, and he pretends like I'm not doing it with him.
Your wife's cooler than mine.
Which is why you want a pounder. I get it.
Like, don't get wrong, if I told her, hey, I want to do stuff tomorrow, she'd let me do it. But I honestly would feel really
Guilty.
craptastic.
No, I
Especially
understand.
because we've been quarantining all week, and we've both been like juggling our son. So like she told me earlier, she's like, I just need a couple of hours between your podcasts tonight. Can you do that? So, sure. So
I told my wife the deal was after we do this show, and so we have Mike and I have 3 more shows to do after this one because we're insane. So the deal was between my wife and I, because my studio here, as you guys can see, my podcasting, video, YouTubing, Zoom with ad-free shows studio is luxurious with my couch and 2 shelves and 2 belts. My wife's upstairs watching her kids. So the deal I made, our stairs here to the basement to the living room has a gate at the top. It was there when I bought the house. But it's nice because, for those of you who don't know, my son is autistic. So it's nice to have the gate. That way he's just not randomly running down the basement stairs in the middle of the night. Although he is good on the stairs, but you still just don't want it because he's 4 and doesn't understand danger. But I told her the deal was after this show and Mike and I go back and start doing my chatback stuff, I'll leave the gate open. So if Jack wants to come back downstairs, he can. That's the deal.
Yeah, that's so my little guy's 15 months old and he doesn't navigate the stairs at all. But no, it's a good call and it's awesome that your wife's able to do that. I'm jealous. Thanks.
Time code 115 right now. 01, 02, 03, 04. We are not quite to our main event. Again, a main event is Mr. McMahon with The Rock and Stone Cold against The Undertaker, Triple H, and Shane McMahon. Lord have mercy. Star power. Oh, by the way, I just got a new podcast notification. Episode 9 of Top Guy Theater, Halloween Havoc 91. Now available on the old iTunes.
Oh, so you actually finished that?
Yeah, well, that was 98. I mean, we had to squeeze in 98 while we were watching 91 because 98 goes on for fucking ever. So we just finished 98 2 nights ago. We finished 91 just before that. I need to ask you guys a serious question. I want everyone to chime in on this because I've been haunting myself with for a long time. Do we give WCW a free pass because of Eric Bischoff, and we're all kind of friends with them now, and Tony Schiavone, and a lot of the wrestlers we've gotten to know over the years? Do we give them a free pass for having some of the worst goddamn pay-per-views of all time?
Yes.
Like, they put AWA to shame with some of their pay-per-views. These are things that are trash. Trash.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sold out was a rough time. Like
And that's-
there's
Like,
there's-
here's
that's
the
just
thing.
one of-
Sold Out 97 doesn't even make
Yes.
the top 10 of worst WCW worst pay-per-views ever. It's not even on the top 10.
Top 10's filled with 2,000.
Yeah, in 01.
Yeah.
Busy time. Busy time. And we just watched Chamber of Horrors from Halloween Havoc 91. Like, WCW had some garbage pay-per-views.
Yes.
A lot of them. Like, if I honestly ask you guys, let's go around the horn. Let's do worst WWE pay-per-views of all time. It would take you a minute to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
WCW's like, I mean, I've got 12. Which one?
I got the answer right here.
Okay.
Uncensored 1996 or 95. You can pick your choice. The two single worst ones, followed by Halloween Havoc 1992. Any pay-per-view that featured the Triple Cage Tower of Doom with Z Gangsta, Jeep Swenson, and every heel on the roster jobbing to Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan has got to be the single worst thing.
Well, I mean, first of all, Top Guy Theater bingo. You just mentioned Jeep Swenson. So, bingo. Also, as bad as that was, DDP and I'm sure it was DDP, Jeff Jarrett, and David Arquette in a triple threat, triple cage match for the WCW World Title.
They tried.
Tried what?
They tried. I will give them credit for trying.
Oh,
They tried to-
RoboCop showed up to one.
Oh. Don't run. I've put RoboCop out of my damn mind. Stop this.
But that's what I mean. We don't talk about those shows. We talk about Spring Stampede 97. We talk Bash of the Beach 96. We talk about Starrcade 97, even though the finish was completely fucked. But we talk about those shows. We don't talk about whatever the Triple Cage in 99. We don't talk about RoboCop. Why? Why do we give WCW a free pass for having some of the worst wrestling shows ever, and they made people pay for it at the same time?
I think after you just do like so many bad ones, you're just like, well, that's WCW. I
Speaking
guess
of
right
terrible
now.
shit, here's Beaver Cleavage on Monday Night Raw. That could not have come at a better time.
Oh,
God.
I think another way you can look at it as well is that the reason why they probably got such a pass is because you also had WWF going at the same time, which was good.
Which was so epic.
Yeah, so like because WCW was like it'd be a different story if it was just there by itself and that was the only thing you could watch.
Which brings an interesting point up, and I want to ask you guys this is a legitimate question. So in this time frame, 2 years prior, 97, not 99 so much, 97, WCW, their undercard was next level. Shit we've never seen. Main events sucked. Hard Peter.
Yep.
WWE.
Exactly.
Undercards. Leave something to be wanted. Main events were epic.
Yeah.
Today, 2020, AEW and NXT. I'm not gonna include SmackDown and Raw. NXT and AEW both have their pros and cons of each show. Is there something to be said about WWE? And this is not just on their side too, and AEW also. And I understand half the roster, or actually more than that, 3/4 of their roster, have something to prove as far as they believe to WWE as a company, as a creative unit. Is there something to be said about a positive creative union between WWE and AEW, sharing talent, sharing stories? Do you think they could prosper better working together, or are they better off working against each other? Because personally, I think there'd be more to gain working together.
So while you say that, and I'm not disagreeing with you at face value, but here's my question: how do you control that creatively? Creatively. Sorry.
Expound on that. Expound on that idea.
Well, because you share talent to WWE, you share talent to AEW, you're gonna have two different sets of creative there, right?
Right.
Right. So, while yes, I can see a positive sharing talent, you're also gonna find like.
I think this is why every talent exchange has always had some issues, like New Japan and Ring of Honor. Like every time New Japan was coming, all the ROH guys were jobbing. Like every War of the Worlds.
Well, you could say the same about New Japan and WCW, but it's called professionalism.
Yeah.
We all understand Chris Jericho is not going to job out to Shorty G. We get that. You have main eventers go against main eventers. You have mid carders go against mid carders. That's how it works. But say you have a Cody Rhodes Triple H match. Say you have and everyone's excited for Young Bucks and FTR. I'm not.
Nora.
I'm excited to see FTR. I'm not. I don't know how this match is going to work out. But, I want to see a Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens match. Finally, we never got it. It sort of never resolved. There's matches between the companies you'd want to see. And I think unifying the audience as opposed to dividing the audience would do both companies better than what they're doing now, pitting the audiences against each other. So, and also we just had a run-in. The Jacksonville 5.
Oh, not those guys.
Yeah, they're here. The usual group.
Do I have to leave since Frank Bruno's here in Rhode Island?
No. According to Frank Bruno, we can't have enough Rhode Island in this show.
Love you, Frank.
So, Jacksonville 5-6. I will give you 3 minutes. You're spotlighted. The floor, Joey Carr. Oh, Lord, I see Joey Carr. The floor is yours. I'm going to give you 3 minutes uninterrupted. Go.
What's the topic?
Yes. Professional wrestling today. Well, okay, so legit. We're talking, is there more benefit to WWE and AEW working together or continuing this bullshit feud that no one believes?
Okay, I'm gonna let a couple other people answer first.
I think Phil Jackson, get closer to the goddamn microphone. Jesus.
I think I think that healthy competition breeds excellence. You know, Attitude Era wouldn't have been the Attitude Era without WCW, and WCW wouldn't have tried to elevate its game without the Attitude Era, and they just kept. But they were literally trying to put each other out of business. We don't need that kind of competition, but we do need competition for ratings, but not competition to put each other off the map altogether. Wrestling is wrestling, and everyone needs to thrive in it, regardless of the company. But there has to be. I mean, WWE was getting so stagnant. And I'm not saying they've gotten much better since AEW, but when they moved NXT up, NXT's
We'll
kind
get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. So it's getting to the point where the competition is helping, as long as they're not trying to blow each other up off the map. I think it's great.
Joey Carr.
I agree with Phil because I think competition helps because look what WCW did for WWE. And for WCW there for a while, I think that when they're working against each other, it's best for business because working together. That's when Smoky Mountain Wrestling was working together with WWE. That wasn't working out so well.
Well, I mean, they did give us the new Midnight Express.
Yeah,
motherfucker, bodacious Bart and beautiful Bart. I don't remember the. I
I
don't
was
remember
actually
the fucking
talking
names.
more about when they worked together in '95 and '93 and stuff. That was very memorable, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. We all remember when Barry Windham wrestled Jeff Jarrett for the Smoky Mountain title.
You know, Brandy, do you want to?
Hey, Brandy Wagner behind the couch there. What can you stop yourself from the iPad porn and maybe chime in on this conversation?
She's watching Two Girls, One Cup.
I knew it. I knew it. By the way, guys, Lauren Yaffe's on this show. She's still recovering.
I did see. Hi, Lauren.
This is permanent trauma.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I will never get over it. I will never get over it.
There's no chance.
Someone-
You could be on Dr. Phil for.
Someone was talking today and just said, like, I was going to eat, and I'm like, oh my God, eat.
Hey, Lauren, do you know where this restaurant keeps their red Solo cups?
Is this now, TJ? I do have a question.
Okay.
Did you pick up the cherry? What was it called? The cherry bourbon that you had when we last watched All Out?
No, I had Stillhouse. Now I'm doing this straight up bullet bourbon, baby.
See if we can get Bruno down here. So do you think, I'm checking the Vegas line right now. Okay, it is at 3-1 odds that you will at some point challenge Sami Callihan to a fight. Yes.
I'm already considering it. Oh, here comes Steve Austin. Look at this bad son of a bitch.
So
anyway,
shit is next level.
What Raw is this?
This is the highest rated Raw of all time. This is Mike Kolb's idea. May 10th, 99. The main event is Steve Austin, The Rock, and Vince McMahon against The Undertaker, Triple H, and Shane McMahon.
Huge.
May 10th, 99?
Yeah, and we're right at the end.
Okay.
Huge. So, you guys, I think we all do, Joey. You guys are in Jacksonville, and we all hate you for it.
Yeah, I hate them personally.
Anthony Pyrus wants to murder your children, he told us. So we normal crew, we kind of have a makeshift type guy theater. We're doing a bonus episode, by the way. We got Michael Amend. We have Tyler Cordingley, who just had that bombshell end to Eric Bischoff's Locked and Loaded earlier today. We have Anthony Pyrus. We have Lauren Yaffe, Mike Kolb, Adam O'Neill, Jason Reef. And then we also have, in this gaggle fuck of former cast members of mine, Carl Mandick, Joey Carr, Brandy Wagner, Phil Jackson. Somewhere, Mark Nelson and Frank Bruno are touching each other's genitals, but they're not in the picture.
That
right
is
now.
alleged. Yes, that is That's not allegedly.
That is 100%.
It's well established.
Are you past the? Have you guys gotten past the Mrs. Cleavage?
Oh
spots?
yes, we just watched it. Actually, we just watched it.
Are you
'Cause we
guys
were talking about? So I want you guys to chime in. We were just discussing if we look at WCW through rose-colored glasses, because they had some of the worst pay-per-views ever. I bet you if you did top 10 worst wrestling pay-per-views of all time, they'd have 6 of them. Why did we give WCW a free pass and no one else? But we crucify WWE, crucify AEW when they have a bad one. Also, while we're having this conversation, Beaver Cleaver showed up. So what did
all time?
Carl Mandick, Phil Jackson, Brandy Wagner, Joey Carr? Why do we give WCW a free pass on their garbage pay-per-views 70% of the time?
I don't.
Yeah, we don't.
I do.
Well, I would love if you smart asses would fucking tell us, as opposed to, oh, I know, I'm gonna go back to my iPad. I'm too busy to answer. I'm playing Mario World.
Joey, yeah, you go first and then I'll answer it.
I think I do because WCW, I guess because it gave me so many good memories. Otherwise, that I kind of forget the bad stuff. What did be still around and has so many, continues to put out some bad pay-per-views now and has had bad pay-per-views in their past that I kind of, it's still relevant. So it's like,
I think that's, yeah, I would say that that's a huge
nostalgia.
Yeah. And
Here's what I love, and I don't mean to dispute or interrupt or dispute Joey's point, because it is valid. But what I love is as I'm looking at this picture here in front of me of the Jacksonville 5 or 6, pardon me. We're watching them. We have 3 regular crew members and Joey Carr. One of our regular crew members, Brandy Wagner, can't even be bothered to turn her fucking head around to say hi to everyone, say hi to her audience, say hi to her base.
Just majorly into that iPad, looking like my toddler out of damn Chili's or something.
Are you playing Cook World? Are you playing Mario Run, Sonic Run? What did we, Brandy? What do I have to do to entice your attention?
All right, she lifted her head.
We're there. We're halfway there. Do I need to say I'm watching Bertha Faye and Alundra Blaze SummerSlam '96? Is that what is that where I need to go? Maybe Bull Nakano?
I don't know. It's a no sell.
Dude, she's sitting the hell out of me.
It's yeah. I was gonna touch on getting into the WCW / the competition factor.
Please, I wish you would, Carl.
So looking at it now, what we know is that if it wasn't for Nitro, we wouldn't have Raw live every single week creating such Attitude Era and ratings that we're seeing in this one. So to me, what does that result in? Like, what does AEW turn WWE into? Again, I've always been a big proponent. I think I caught a little bit of it, is that if WWE wants to come across as have this worldly feel, I would love to see them partner with New Japan for a WrestleMania and a Wrestle Kingdom all rolled into one. Some way, somehow, a two-day cross-promoted show, just like they did with War back in, Wrestling and Romance back in '94, and then they did it with All Japan, correct? When it was Tiger Mask and
yeah, I believe you're right, yeah.
So I think that's what you're looking at. AEW, we have to. It's such a small sample size because they got going 13 months ago, pandemic, and they're still the cool kids on the block. somehow. But here's my question. How long was it for TNA on Fox Sports or Spike before people started to turn on them? Because they were, for a long time, more or less, I remember the trend being that they were they came across like cool and new and then shiny new object. So I don't know what the I guess I have to really look at that as a much broader picture. Probably too deep of one. I'm probably going way too into
No, it's a valid, because again, my whole theory is there more ground to be gained if the companies work together, which I think there is, than as opposed to them working against each other. Because we've obviously seen the Wednesday Night Wars are not working for either company. They can't break 800,000 views. Which, by the way, 25 years ago, which got kicked off of TNT and USA at the same time. So, no one's winning the Wednesday Night Wars. No one is. I don't care what anybody says. Neither company's winning. AEW's not growing. NXT's not growing. We can see that because both shows' storylines are stale. They're not growing. They're not exciting. They have exciting characters, for sure. Storylines, I'll go to a knife fight with that one. But my question is, would the companies benefit from the first, as far as I know, the first intercontinental, being both North American, agreement to where, hey, you know what? I know we're competing, but there's a lot to be gained if we work together. Is there any room for that? Or is it impossible in this day and age?
Not as long as Vince McMahon is still alive, it's impossible.
Yeah, I agree.
Triple H might be willing to do that, but Vince, no way in hell.
Really? Because
Yeah.
Vince McMahon worked with the ECW.
He paid. Well, I was to say
Vince McMahon was paying for ECW.
But he was doing so in order to get talent eventually from ECW to him. It was a breeding ground.
Okay. Welcome to the conversation. That's how you get in.
No, right, but we didn't know, obviously. We didn't know that he was doing that, or the whole licensing music with Too Cold Scorpio slash funk. So let's put this out there. I think it can be surmised that because when we all heard that Vince McMahon was this investor in ECW, it shocked a lot of us because we didn't know. I didn't know
until like 4 years ago.
Right. So, we're kind of going on the record saying no chance Vince is secretly somehow investing and benefiting because.
Oh, no way. I'm not implying Vince. Vince would not be the one doing this.
You don't think he put any money into AEW?
No, we know who this would be.
Okay. And I would say here's where you get your competition. Here's your upside, downside, and I'll close on just for me. There is that internet wrestling community part that thrives on that Cody moment of the sledgehammer and the throne, and I know you hate that because that is acknowledging the competition. So I think what needs to be the precedent that needs to be set is, hey, we're going to do our own thing and we're going to go our own way. But I think those secret jabs, those Mr. Brody Lee, the sneezing, that inside could be seen as petulant. At the same time, it does get us kind of smirking a little bit like, oh, I caught that. Or it keeps us actively watching. Raw just ended for us. I don't know if it did for anybody.
Oh, it's been over for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we ended it quite a while ago.
So I think that those moments, those little inside actively watching jabs at the competition, while they are trying not to acknowledge them and make them across as hypocritical, are what, if they can do that in a healthy way where it doesn't come across as negative and puts people in seats, I think it can't, one side can, or there can be healthy competition where both numbers are raised back up to maybe not to this extent, but in a couple of years, I think that they both can get there respectively. Maybe both not on Wednesday nights, but I think they can both get there.
Let me chime in real quick.
Oh,
this is
God.
something that seems to fly underneath a lot of people's radar, and a lot of people, I think, actually forgot this a year ago. Somebody somewhere in WWE must have given Vince.
Carl, take your shoes off in the house.
Right, the take your house rule.
Somebody somewhere in WWE must have gave Vince McMahon really good head, because if you remember, after the very first Dynamite, WWE publicly online congratulated AEW for a successful first show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they acknowledged their existence.
Again, for anyone that's paying attention, Cody Rhodes and Triple H are still on a speaking relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
This is not news.
Like I said, as long as Vince McMahon is still alive, there's not going to be any cooperation.
Well, again, this is not. How am I going to phrase this? This is not going to be a Vince McMahon upbringing.
Yeah,
It's going to be Triple H.
absolutely.
And again, for all of the fans who think it's fun and it's cute and it's true that Triple H has this giant shovel and he just buries everyone he doesn't like, stop. Triple H is responsible for either the best or the second best, however you view it, wrestling in the world today.
Absolutely.
Because I would say it would either go AEW or NXT, yes, and then New Japan, Ring of Honor, so on and so forth. So anyone who thinks Triple H is an enemy of current wrestling is an asshole.
Yeah, that is absolutely false. Triple H is like, you can tell by what he invests in NXT that he is absolutely not an enemy of wrestling. He's got his finger on the pulse more than just about anybody.
You can watch NXT and you can see what WWE is going to become.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself is exciting, even if Raw and SmackDown suck, because they do. But now, do they have great superstars in each show? Of course they do. Cornette, Kevin Owens is the shit. Sami Zayn is one of the best characters in the last 15 years to show up through there. He's killing it.
They finally turned the ship around with Roman Reigns. I'm actually enjoying what they're doing with Roman Reigns right now.
Hey, Tyler, before you get off, thank you.
Yes.
For joining the show.
Thank you. This was really awesome.
Thank you for coming on and please. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for telling your story and your mother's story. I cannot thank you enough. Anytime you want to come back on, you're welcome. Thank you.
By end of day, Tyler will be a my pusher, and Tyler. Pleasure.
Oh no, you'll be a goddamn top guy if I got to pay for it myself.
No, Anthony, he hooked me up, man. I appreciate that. I look forward to spending,
Tyler,
hook
up with Michael Amand.
Yes. You can send me a text. I sent you my number. Send me a text.
I texted you. I texted you already.
I put your number, or I put my number in the chat, but I'll text you.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
I got your number
nice
saved.
Nice to meet you as well. I didn't get to say hello. But...
Tyler, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I'll see you.
I didn't get to save your story, but I'll watch it back when I get home.
Yes. Thank you.
Tyler, before you go, would you PM me that cell phone number again? I'm sorry.
Yes, sure will. I'm just going to put it on here for everybody. Everybody can see it because I'm all good with everybody having it. So there it is.
Twitter handle, bro.
It's just my first and last name. I'll drop it in here as well.
Thank you.
At Tyler Cordingly. Don't forget the E. Everybody does. And it's well established. The E gets forgotten. So I appreciate everything. This has been really, really helpful and nice. And I'm very thankful. And I look forward to interacting with everybody over the next at least month. So,
dude, we look forward to having you.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited, and I'll talk to you guys all real soon.
Love you, Tyler. Thank you for telling the story.
Cheers, Tyler.
Thank you. Bye.
So, to our previous point, you couldn't do the merger. It's just a blatant WWE is working with AEW merger. It wouldn't work that way. It just wouldn't. You'd have to do it and I hate to say this way, secretively. So let's say you're NXT.
Okay.
AEW's got the Cody Rhodes Open TNT Challenge. Getting ready to hit a pay-per-view for AEW. Who's Cody Rhodes going to face for the TNT title? You say no one up until. And then if you're, if you're AEW or if you're WWE, say, hey, we just released so-and-so. We just released, shit. Would be a good one. Because you have to go believable, but legitimate, but believable. So let's
Kyle
go.
O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly, great one.
Buddy
Thank
Murphy.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Buddy Murphy's another good one. Either. Say, tonight on Full Gear, we're going to have Cody Rhodes and Buddy Murphy for the TNT title.
I do like Kyle O'Reilly.
That starts the, I thought, because, us internet fans, we know everything now. Oh, I thought he scored for WWE. That can't be right. And then it happens. Then nothing. Just end it there. No communication, no promos, no nothing. It just ends there. Go to the next pay-per-view for AEW because they're more sporadic than WWE. So the next AEW pay-per-view, whatever, a Double or Nothing, I would guess would be the next one. So Cody Rhodes, Open TNT Challenge. Who's going to challenge him? Undisputed Era Kyle O'Reilly shows up. Cody Rhodes wins. What the fuck was Kyle O'Reilly doing there? Is he released for WWE? You get the internet world talking, and I've always said for the last decade, and I'm sad none of you guys knew me long to know this, but I've said it from the beginning. If you tell, there's a way to get around the internet wrestling community. Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez specifically, and everyone who supports everything on the internet. You can get around that by telling them bullshit on purpose. So they report the wrong thing. Send them false injury reports. The Patriots have been doing it for 25 fucking years. Anthony Pyrus, you can back that up, yes?
What? Whoa! You're not talking bad about the Patriots, right?
No. It's
Okay.
actually genius on the Patriots' part.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yes, I thought, and I was going to hang up and cancel my ad-free subscriptions.
Hey. Let's everyone
TJ,
calm down.
You and I would have been enemies. You don't want that.
Let's all calm down.
Okay. You're 100%.
But no, it's genius.
Yes.
Make fake injury reports. Make fake storylines up. Just say
By the
report
way-
it. And then when the opposite happens, you dodge everyone. It
By the
can
way-
happen.
But if you but have they preconditioned?
Hold on, Carl.
Oh, sorry.
Anthony Pyrus, go ahead, and then Carl, you're up.
I know the Jacksonville Six are on. The offer stands. Lauren, woman after my own heart, die-hard Patriot fan, 30-year season ticket holder right here. I know I only look about 22, 23 years old, but I am a little bit older than that. Lauren, next time you find your way to the lower 48, the offer stands. You're going to your first Patriot game at Gillette Stadium.
Brandy, I will get that to her. I will tell her. Yeah, I will let her know. You're getting offered to go to your first ever Patriots game in person.
I'm coming.
You're all welcome.
It's now TJ, your point is interesting. The thing that I would worry about is, have they preconditioned or have they stroked us for so long that we keep expecting, and the way that they do that.
Hi, Brandy.
Comes across.
I talked to my cat. Life is good.
Oh, that's good.
I'm sorry. Did you say you talked to your cat?
Yes. My uncle called me and he put the phone on speaker, and I was able to talk to my cat.
I don't know if this should be. This is probably set up really wonky. I'm sorry.
Is your cat named Bertha Faye? Just out of curiosity.
My cat is named Sapphire.
Brandy and I have both discovered that we have an odd fascination with Bertha Faye.
Rhonda got a raw deal in WWE.
That's the
Japan
running
and
joke on the
Canada
show. Rhonda Singh is her real name, but we all know it's Bertha Faye.
Sapphire is sweet.
Her first match in WWE, she broke Alundra Blaze's nose. Anywho, Brandy, you're kind of the resident expert here
I
on AEW and independent wrestling.
Yes.
The point, our topic here to end the show, even though it's not in any way related to Monday Night Raw from '99, is there a way, a working relationship between AEW and WWE exists? And let me be more specific. AEW and NXT exists. And is there a way, well, actually, again, let me rephrase that. Is there a way either company does not benefit? Because to me, again, if you play it off, so again, Cody Rhodes is your TNT champion. He's doing the open challenge, just like John Cena used to with the U.S. title.
Yes.
Don't
Good device.
reveal his pay-per-view opponent, and then all of a sudden, Kyle O'Reilly shows up.
Mhm.
3 months later, Bobby Lashley shows up. Is there not a way? Well, you're a journalist in the wrestling world. How would you pull this off? WWE, AEW working relationship, but under wraps, so when no one knew. And also, do you think it would work?
I don't think with the current corporate structure of WWE it would work. But
again, we've erased Vince McMahon.
okay. So
This is
if
Triple
they
H.
made it into the
So
same-
let me rephrase: AEW, NXT.
AEW and NXT. So if they played it up with the less of they take pot shots at each other and try to make it seem like there's genuine competition and they talk positively about the other people, not a lot because it's your time.
Mm-mm.
And you have to, it can't just be them. You'd have to work in some outside with other companies so that it looked like, because you want to keep it under wraps.
I'd want to do a WCW New Japan 97 type, or even 91. Fujinami, Great Muta, Ric Flair. Some main event guys are tangling here. This isn't the Street Profits.
Storylines, obviously.
Right. This isn't the Street Profits and Private Party. This is main event shit.
Absolutely. If you book it like the WCW New Japan, where they acknowledged each other as equals and agreed to work together and put on the best shows with their best talent to see which company was better, you could do it. And I think that was really fun. It introduced a lot of people like Great Muta, like Tatsumi Fujinami, like Akira Hokuto, to
Eugene
the
Nagata.
audience.
Dick to go.
Before.
Yeah. Dick to go.
Dick to go. How can I forget Dick?
You,
to go.
but Ultimo Dragon, and also there's Ultimo Dragon, Union Jagata, Masahiro Chono.
Nitro.
Yeah, Masahiro Chono, all introduced to that New Japan WCW working agreement.
It's all in the presentation of the talent where you have to acknowledge them as this person is big for their contributions and not talk down. And then say, well, this person's the best at X. Let's say this, Cody Rhodes is the current reigning defending TNT champion. He's had it for over a year and he's looking for fresh competition. There's nobody left in AEW, but there's so much great talent in NXT. And wouldn't it be awesome if NXT, who is our friend over on the USA Network, could send their best to take on Cody Rhodes? And they have an open invitation.
Right.
So
Yes.
come on and show up on such and such a date.
Hey, let me lay down a framework. A year ago, on their first pay-per-view, you had Cody Rhodes smash Triple H's throne.
Mm-hmm.
They've made pot shots at him here and there, specifically Triple H, here and there for the last, how long has it been, a year and a half now?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the fucking reaction at a fully loaded, well, fully loaded is not, that's WWE pay-per-view. I'm sorry. At a Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If Cody Rhodes comes out, third to last to end the show, right? So you still have the semi-main and then the main.
Right.
Cody Rhodes comes out to defend the TNT title. Triple H walks out. Oh, you're gonna smash my throne on pay-per-view? Come smash my throne, kid. They go on to have a 35-minute fucking Broadway because you know they would. It's Triple H and Cody. And Triple H puts him over.
Yes. See, that's
Like, there's...
around
I've never understood the two national companies not working together because the potential matchups, even if we didn't know you were working together, the potential matchups of the dream matches, like Undertaker and Sting, we never got.
Oh, for sure.
Austin Goldberg, we never got it. All these dream matchups, they would get to happen.
Hang on.
On pay-per-view.
Are you implying that Austin and Goldberg would have been a good match?
No. No.
I didn't want to see Austin get concussed and killed.
Your window was Goldberg 99, Austin 99. That's your window.
No, still wouldn't.
Not before. I'm not saying it's right.
Bret Hart
I'm
got
just
killed
saying.
in that time window, so.
I mean, who wouldn't have killed to see Disco Inferno and Rockabilly?
That's right there.
But I just think it's interesting because there was even moments in TNA when they really started to gain momentum in 07, 08, ironically when Eric was there, that you would have, like, there were matchups that you would have loved to see, but you couldn't because they weren't working together. And I just wonder at what point in a wrestling world, and we'll end the show on this thought, at what point in a wrestling world do you tell yourself, man, if Cody Rhodes, let's go beyond that. Jon Moxley, the AEW champion, faced Roman Reigns, the WWE champion. Imagine the draw rate,
Let me die.
the show. Let's start with Adam O'Neil. Do you think there's money to be made in a Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, two former members of the Shield, cross-promotional corporate match? Because I think there is.
I think there is as well, to be honest. Especially Reigns now with his character now. But yeah, no, I think they're both fantastic. I think the whole idea around having a kind of if it could come to Da Vinci with a pay-per-view, I think we're bang on what you said about that could be a great way to start it with the whole Cody Triple H thing. The fact that Cody's already done that to the throne, and eventually it led to a full pay-per-view, similar to like if you go back to 2001. Now I know they're all WWE talent, but when you go back to 2001, you had the Invasion pay-per-view where it was like WCW versus WWF. You could have AEW versus WWE the whole way through, and I think it could actually be fantastic. And the amount of, like, obviously that fill the arena and the amount of pay-per-view boys they get would be out of this world. I'd say, you know. Could you imagine having, like, no, I'm not saying it work, but just say for argument's sake, something that you probably wouldn't get to see, Joe, like a Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole, or something like that, like, you know, a match that you wouldn't normally see. I just think it'd be fantastic. Like
Adam O'Neil. First of all, let me say we're right here. We're right here, and also let me give you a place for that pay-per-view you just mentioned. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Anthony Pyrus.
6-hour drive for me from Philadelphia. I am there as soon as they book it. Right
now.
I'm gonna get. Is it there? I'm gonna get in the car. Excuse me, guys. I'm No, I would pay whatever you guys needed, whatever, not you guys, but whatever they asked for. I would get my butt down there. Philly, perfect spot.
Well, again, there's this misconception that the fans want this contest. We want this war. We don't. We want to see great wrestling. That's what we want to see.
We want a good product.
Am I the only guy? Yeah. Am I the only guy that enjoys Wednesday nights, both shows?
Yes, of course.
I am.
No. There's a lot of us. But we just don't admit it for whatever reason on social media. I mean, there's things about both shows to love. There's things about both shows to hate. Phil Jackson on the Jacksonville 6 accuses me all the time of shitting on AEW. I don't. I shit on what they show me. They have the talent. By the way, WWE same way. They're not. AEW is not exclusive in this. WWE is the same shit they have for 30 years, my whole fucking existence. AEW has the guys to do this. They just don't. And that's why AEW's booking is so much more frustrating than WWE's. Because at least WWE's using the guys they should. It's just in the shittiest way possible. AEW is not using the guys they should. And it's in the shittiest way possible. That's what's so aggravating about it. But I think if both companies got together, I think then, because both companies want to say, we're going to give the fans what they want. We give the fans, we're not going to insult your intelligence anymore. We're going to give you what you want. Do you know what we want now? We want good wrestling matches. We want good storylines. I don't care who it takes involved. That's what I want. I don't want to see Orange Cassidy in a dumbass mimosa match. And I'm not talking bad against Orange Cassidy. The dude's talented. Okay?
Thank you.
That match is bullshit.
Yes.
Thank you.
Agree.
Chris Jericho, you're 51. You're an all-time legend. Fucking act like it. Act like Hulk Hogan at 51. Act like Goldberg at 51. You're not.
So we're going to see a Gawker video of Chris Jericho?
Phil Jackson, you're about to get a private text message of my ding-dong in my banana hammock. That's what you're about to get. Let's go. Jason Reef, your thoughts. Now that I've been yelling and screaming for 20 minutes.
Well, first of all, this hypothetical scenario, as a Pittsburgher, if we're going to put it in Philadelphia, sorry, count me out. But besides that,
why?
I'm Pittsburgh. I'm supposed to hate Philadelphia. I don't want to go to Philadelphia.
Okay, so what if it's in Pittsburgh? What if it's in the Igloo?
Hell yeah, sign me up. Let's go.
Why do you? Okay, so let me go around the horn real quick. Why did I mention Philadelphia? Why did I bring up Philadelphia?
ECW.
No. But yes, but no.
It's
Mark
the
Van.
crowd. It's their most rambunctious crowd.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
That's
well,
it.
I get why you did it. I said I think Chicago would work too.
I would say Chicago.
I would, yes. Philadelphia, Chicago,
Ireland.
Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, Jesus, Frank. Where the fuck is Frank?
He's upstairs beating off.
Yeah. Touching himself through his khaki shorts. Anyway, Jason Reef.
Yeah, sorry to get on another tangent.
God, yeah, Frank beating off. What a tangent.
I'm like, why are we going to my house?
Randy, run upstairs and help Frank.
I will say, this is, a dream idea. I think both companies working together, you get these dream matches, an ideal scenario. But I'm still a firm believer that you still get the best out of competition, and competition brings out the best ideas from everyone. Has it been so far this year? No, but this has been such a fluky year. But I'm still a believer that competition brings out the best creatively and in the ring. So that's the corner I'm in.
So before I move on, I really believe, and again, this is why I've never understood why this never happened before. Beyond the territories. The territories happen all the time. Bill Watts partnered with everyone. But why today? Imagine if WWF and WCW partnered up behind the scenes and let no one know in 97. All the matches we could have gotten. It never did.
NWO invasion storyline could have been real.
Right.
Yeah.
The DX invasion in Norfolk Scope.
Mm.
That could have been real. Imagine. NXT AEW.
See, again, like when we talk about domino effect and all that stuff.
Carl's domino effect, by the way, it's a segment of our
what
show.
If they, you go back to that moment. What if they open the door? They let him in.
Eric Bischoff actually said he wished he would have opened the door and you just would have seen Meng.
Wasn't he at first? Wasn't he confused by time that he said that
it was in the fucking daytime?
Still my favorite 83 weeks moment.
That was blistering. That I'll say that fight and the Conrad something to wrestle post WrestleMania 9 Hogan. Why was he Europe fight?
Yeah.
Will make somebody like I don't know if I was so uncomfortable the first time, and as coarse as it was, and it was just sandpaper audio. It was like in my ears, and then it got better and better and better, and eventually it was like this is gold. But at first I was like, oh, can't do it.
Before we go any farther, there's been two things I've wanted to say and I haven't gotten to. First of all, Carl Mandick, Phil Jackson, Brandy Wagner, Joey Carr. Thank you for joining us today. I love all four of you. I miss you. I wish I was down there right now in Jacksonville, but I wasn't invited. So there's that. Now, to the rest of the gang, Adam O'Neill, Anthony Pyrus. By the way, I'm the Jacksonville. I'm fucking with you. It's fine. I'm not bitter. It's okay. Anthony Pyrus, Adam O'Neill, Jason Reef, Michael Amend. Thank you for joining us. I'm not by any stretch ending this conversation right now, by the way, because there's so much more to discuss, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's continue. Much like any ECW fan would say, late 97 was the time for WWE to strike the iron. I would say AEW right now is the time to strike the iron. And I always say that because they have so many talents right now getting ready to hit that ceiling. Yes. They need to break through their own talent, their own performance, their own willingness. But the way AEW, and this isn't a knock, the way AEW books television and books pay-per-view, and the way WWE books television and books pay-per-view, they're not able to. I think a cross-promotion deal for 6 months, for a year, for a build-up to WrestleMania, for a build-up to Double or Nothing, which appears to be AEW's answer to WrestleMania, is not only smart monetarily, it's smart creatively. You're making storyline writers who've been in the groove of writing stories for the same people for decades, maybe. Well, now I'm going to throw in MJF. Now I'm going to throw in Private Party. Now I'm going to throw in the Young Bucks. I've got new personalities, new people to throw into the mix. My greatest question is, how is it we've all been wrestling fans for 30 years plus in this group right now, and this has never happened? How have we gotten here? Why is it wrestling succession is so exclusive? Why do we have to have two independently successful companies as opposed to one wrestling unit? Why does there have to be a difference?
Man.
Joey, hold on. Joey, repeat that, please.
Vince is an egotistical old man.
That's part of it, but not all of it. That is a fair portion, but you can't blame it all on Vince.
No, it's not just Vince McMahon's ego. Their ego's all around. There are too many people that puff up their chest and have to prove something to somebody else. And I was butthurt about this, and I can't let them get away with that, and I can't look weak in front of this person. It's not just Vince McMahon. I mean, he is a very large part because his finger has been off the pulse of what's good and exciting for a long time. but he just refuses to give up or admit it. But that's not the sole. I mean, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes. I mean, you look at the way they run AEW. A lot of it's just out of spite for WWE. I'm not saying they're not creative. I'm not saying that.
No, it's plainly obvious.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're running AEW poorly or anything like that. But they clearly.
Let me ask you a question. What's happened to Matt Cardona?
He actually never.
His deal is up.
Yeah.
He signed a special 5 appearance deal.
That was it.
Okay.
He's done for now.
What's happened to Ty Dillinger?
He's actually in the top 5 ranked AEW wrestlers right now.
No, he's not.
On the card.
I thank you, Brandy.
The thing is, how many times are we reminded when we go back through, and I think you're going to see this in like mansplaining when they have it with Mance Warner.
Mance Warner.
So the thing is this.
The new greatest boner show, by the way.
Open up a WWE documentary, a Vice documentary, you name the documentary or the piece where we see the divided territories, that map that's already, this is Houston and this is Don Owens in Oregon and out of Portland. This is McGurk in St. Louis, all the AWA and I've sat there with ex-girlfriends, family members, trying to explain exactly that competition, that division, and why it was all split up. So there's part of me that thinks that because we have seen that, because we knew that that's how it used to be, TJ, your idea of one unified, successful promotion is like ideal. Like it is ideal. But why hasn't it happened is because I almost still see that map in my head that we want to go back to that, to like where it is like us versus them versus us versus those two guys, type of thing.
My idea wasn't for a one unified, successful promotion. It was an under the wraps, under the table deal between two promotions.
Oh, okay.
To throw the Meltzer. No. You're fine. I might have said it wrong, but to throw the Meltzers and the Alvarezes and all them other shit seals off of the main story, throw them off the main trail to what's really going on, to where Triple H and Cody Rhodes said, hey, we need to get guys over. Period. End of discussion. Both shows do. Because you know why? Both shows do. So let's work together.
Yeah.
And hey, you give me – hold on, Phil. I'm sorry. Hold on, Phil. If I'm Triple H, hey, you give me MJF for 4 months against Walter. And if I'm AEW, I'm like, you know what? That's cool. But when you're done, I want Walter and I want Wardlow. Why do you?
I'm sorry, you said Walter, and I'm just
I'm not for the selfishness of each company bullshit. That's an easy excuse. Both companies, nationally televised entities, they're making boatloads of cash. They get advertisers out the ass despite the demographic bullshit. Meltzer and Brian Alvarez all want to give you. They're making money, trust me, off advertisers, regardless of the demos they're drawing. That's all horseshit, folks. It's all horseshit. Believe me, WWE's been on television for 40 fucking years on the USA Network. They're getting advertisers. AEW, who's on TNT, they're getting advertisers. Ignore the demo shit. Just enjoy both programs. But Phil Jackson, why you're getting ready to interrupt me like an asshole, if I were to give you, I'm trying to think of your favorite, like your genre, your niche of cross promoting. If I were to give you AEW's FTR against WWE's, no, I'll take that back. I'm going to give you AEW's Kenny Omega against WWE's Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn.
I would have said AJ Styles, but yeah, Sami Zayn, great choice as well.
Well, I'm pretty sure AJ Styles and Kenny Omega's happened.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sami Zayn and Sami Zayn. Well, my point is Sami Zayn and Kenny Omega have not happened.
Right. No.
New matchup. I'm offering you new matchups.
No,
that's
I agree.
my that's my brainchild. I'm offering you new
I
matchups.
wasn't disputing that. I was just giving you shit. No, here's the thing. You talked earlier about Roman Reigns, John Moxley. Right now, we've got a leveled up, super white hot heel in Roman Reigns.
You have the best version of Roman Reigns ever.
And we also have a leveled up, complete badass Austin-esque, hasn't lost a match in over a year, John Moxley.
I love Moxley. We really need to stop the Austin comparisons.
Right. I said Austin-esque. I didn't mean
No. I'm not. That wasn't aimed at you.
Yeah.
I've heard it a lot.
Right.
We need to stop that.
Right.
Because they're not the same character.
Right.
At all.
So what I meant by Austin-esque is like the bucking the authority attitude, kind of. That's really the only comparison I have to it. But put those two in a match together, and that's money all day long. So what I was going to assholely interrupt you about earlier, and I was chomping at the bit to say, is right now in AEW, they're dipping their pinky toe into cross promotion with NWA, right? So, they've
been flirting with New Japan for a couple weeks too.
Yeah. Well, hang on. So, we've seen.
Hey, I'm the host of this son of a bitch. Don't you tell me to do nothing.
Please hang on.
Okay, that's better. We're getting it.
So they're dipping their toe in. So what I think we need to see next is maybe we get Nick Aldis in for a TNT Championship match. Get that champion in for a little bit.
I'm gonna disagree. I like your point. Your point. Nick Aldis, John Moxley, title versus title.
I'm getting to a different point here. What I'm saying is what we're seeing right now is a legitimate experiment to see how well cross promotion works openly.
Make the champions legitimate.
If we can make open cross promotion work, we can make hidden cross promotion work, because it shows that companies will work together. If we start seeing, like, let's say, and I'm not saying TNA is that much better, but we start seeing TNA superstars.
Well, hold on. TNA has legitimate stars.
Yeah, no.
They have potential. They really do.
NWA to TNA, and we see TNA superstars start to sprinkle in a little bit here. Then people are going to be like, okay, well, they can work with a company that's been established for 20 years now. So, I mean, let's look at, I mean, not 20 years, but
who is the AEW Women's Champion? Is it Kuroshita?
Yeah.
So imagine if she does an open challenge and Jordan Grace answers it.
Yeah. But my
that's going to blow up the internet.
Yeah. My overall point is.
Thank you, Brandy. Change your pants. Change your pants.
If multiple companies can get together through one like funnel company like AEW, then we're seeing a lot, an actual experiment with that right now. We haven't seen like something like this in years. So if it works openly, then your wet dream of companies getting together low key would absolutely work.
I'll Phil, I gotta hand it to you. Sound argument, profound plan. Let's go to a guy we haven't heard too much from today. One of the new group. Let's do Jason Reef. So I don't know. I really don't know how to phrase this question. As far as we've been discussing, we've all been alive, as far as I know, with the exception of maybe Brandy, ironically, of watching WWE ECW on Raw live in, I think it was 96, 97.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we got to know RVD. Believe it or not, all you young fans out there, we got to know RVD on USA Network in 1996 against Jerry Lawler. So, both Brandy and Jason Reef, because Brandy, you're a wrestling journalist. As far as I know, Jason Reef, you're just a fan. So this could be a really interesting cross-examination of what A, Brandy expects, and B, as a fan, Jason expects. So if you're, let's say I'm in charge of AEW, of getting more fan outreach, not even just viewership, but on social media as well. Interaction. I'm looking for interaction with my brand. Brandy, with the roster involved, how do I get there? And then Jason Reef, after she answers as a fan, as a wrestling fan, not an AEW fan or WWE fan specifically, but as a wrestling fan, I want X, Y, Z. That gets me involved. Brandy Wagner, you're first.
So if I want to see that they're responding to what people are covering. I want to encourage them and say, hey, I saw you talked about this from our brand. I appreciate it. Here's also this. You have to really be responsive. Communication is a huge key. And maybe respond to media requests. That's a story. But yeah, it's all about, you have to see what's out there. You have to see what they're already covering and see what you can supplement. So if I write about, say, how I think that it could be a dream match to have Serena Deeb or Hikaru Shida work with a Jordan Grace or Rosemary.
By the way, if you guys haven't caught on, Brandy Wagner's specialty is women's wrestling. And she is a savant in women's wrestling, so don't test her. Continue.
Or even...
I've tried. I've failed miserably.
Yes. Or even a Miko Satomura in Japan, or WWE superstars. A Becky Lynch when she comes back. You really need to...
Io Shirai.
Io Shirai.
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. You need to see what the fans are talking about. You have to follow along. It's hard sometimes because there's a lot to sift through, but what we really want to sink into is stories. So if you can give us a story and say, hey, so-and-so has an MMA background just like Thunder Rosa, and find those tie-ins where you can, even if it's just a single thread of, oh, they both went to the same college. They could have faced off in college, and this is how they get here to make this story. That's what we like, because it gives us something to talk about, so we're not just talking out our ass.
I think we can all get on that. I mean, women's wrestling, again, when you're my age, when you're 35 and you started watching in 90, women's wrestling really didn't exist if you strictly watched WCW, WWE until 95, and it was, Rhonda Singh and Shayna Baszler, Alundra Blaze, who all knows Medusa, and you had random Japanese appearances here and there, but for the most part, they didn't exist until 99. And to see where the women's division in wrestling as a whole is now, AEW's women's division is hurting for talent. Bad. They have staffing. And I mean that in the most deplorable way I possibly can, because their women's division is terrible.
Yes.
There are a bunch of women on the roster that shouldn't be on television. That's not a knock on them. That's a knock on AEW. They shouldn't be on TV. They just shouldn't. Britt Baker, actually, let me rephrase. I'm going to say Nia Jax. Pardon me. Nyla Rose needs to be their women's champion. Period. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida, and give me one more, need to be chasing her. That's all. That's your women's division. Your women's division would be great if you had one dominant champion and multiple people chasing them. Welcome to Hulk Hogan in 1988, which none of us like to admit worked. But guess what? It did. It did.
It did.
For multiple years, it worked. So Jason Reef, I was going to cut to you earlier, and I interrupted. Thank you, Joey Carr with Awesome Kong. Great one, 4 different times. Jason Reef, I'm going to cut to you because I interrupted you or cut you off earlier. What out of a possible partnership between the 2 major stateside corporations in wrestling, you would like to see X, Y, and Z?
Well, what I'd like to see, like I guess the first thing would be to make it feel real. That would be number one. That these companies really are going at each other. But I don't know, like it's kind of funny that you came to me for this because like I said earlier, I don't know if I would want to see this at all. I know it sounds kind of strange, but I don't know. I mean, sorry to give such a shitty answer, but because I think that was because we do talk about these dream matches that we missed out on during the Monday Night Wars of 97 and 98, but think of what else we got because they weren't working for each other. Like we got so many more awesome memories than we missed out on, in my opinion.
So,
sorry to not answer your question at all, by the way. I'm so sorry.
It was so bad he left.
Wow.
I think TJ's on to something with the chase, the Hogan-esque chase for the title, the babyface chase. But maybe just, and I couldn't exactly put a exact label on it, some sort of twist to make it seem a little bit more modern, a little bit more fresh than just, the baby face factory versus the monster heels. I couldn't put I could not put a label on what that twist would be at the moment because the regular old formulaic babyface chase would get pretty stale pretty quick, regardless of the stories you put in there.
So I think it could work, but how could it work? What does Eric Bischoff always talk about? Anticipation and reality. You've got to have both, and you've got to have good storytelling. And if it's not there, it's not going to work. I think TJ was talking about earlier, I think he was more implying like an invasion type angle. Who's going to come next?
Right.
That could work. But for me, I tend to watch AEW. I don't really watch NXT. Maybe I should. I certainly don't watch Raw and SmackDown hardly ever. I'll watch the WWE pay-per-view because I just think AEW is more entertaining. And I think there's a lot to be said about competition and keeping both brands alive. I like that aspect. But yeah, it's got to be good storytelling, and the way WWE's been storytelling lately, it makes me nervous.
It's hard to argue. It really is at this point. I mean, NXT, what I like about NXT is that it seems like they give everyone an opportunity, almost Russo-like, but not in a bad way, not in a, I'm going to give everyone a story. I'm going to give everyone a spotlight.